Okay, and we are good.
Why, hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing? Okay.
Guten Tag.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the 20,000 subscriber special. This is a...
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What?
We're on time for once.
I know, it's
What,
amazing.
the devil?
And no apparent technical problems. That's
Well,
the
now we're
reason
fucked
for
up
it.
for the next one. It's going to be 3 hours long waiting
Yeah.
next time.
Well, it's always 3 hours long.
We are always ridiculous here. So, big thanks to everyone, especially if this is your first live stream with us. We have gained a ridiculous amount of subscribers in the last month, close to 5,000 actually.
I may or may not have been telling people at work about the show.
Definitely.
I've definitely told people at my workplace about the show. I'm always
And-
bragging about all the editing I do, how I need my 2 days off a week.
And I refuse to shut up about it at my job, mostly because I'm entirely self-absorbed. But one other thing that we are doing at this moment is, well, very soon, is if you'll notice, my shirt is actually the first piece of official Book Was Better merchandise. I'm actually trying to get this whole thing framed.
In style.
Hey, at least I look good.
Absolutely.
Who lied to him?
That's what's important.
Who lied to him? Come on, chat, please.
My mom says I'm handsome. Wow, I fucked that up.
Is that
In
what
my
you call a
defense, I
Freudian
get
slip?
very little sleep.
I think that's a Freudian slip.
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
What's your favorite holiday? Mother's Day?
No, his favorite holiday is Father's Day.
My favorite play is Oedipus Rex.
He really relates to the main character.
Yeah, anyway, back to this. So we actually have multiple designs that we are launching. I believe we're up to 5 right now. You can get these all through Redbubble. There's only so much I can actually do to really show this off. I can tell you, though, this is a very soft shirt. So good on that front. We also have other character designs going on. We have one for Slade that is available right now, one for NPC. We are revamping the one for Crimson at the moment. GC is eventually going to get his own design. No, he doesn't have any say on what it's going to be.
Oh, fuck.
So you know he's going to love it.
Oh, fuck. All right, Kyle.
And I should point
Kyle.
out, and she is in the chat real quick, the shirt, I may have come up with the design, but the art, I can't draw for shit. This was done by a very lovely artist from Australia. Her name is Adeline. She is in the chat right now as, I'm going to butcher this, Yokochu. So thank you, Adeline. This is awesome.
Thank you, Adeline, for designing the shirts.
Bravo.
Thank
Bravo.
you very much.
You commissioned her to do that?
I did, actually. She actually came up with some fan art, and I said, oh my God, this is so good. I've got to put it on a shirt and sell it, to quote Lana
So what you're
Couture.
saying is when you were looking for an artist to design your shirts, you said, Yokochu, I choose you.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm a terrible person, but I'm proud of my terribleness.
Yeah, well, it works.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to regret this.
Uh-oh.
When the design is ready for the GC shirt, send me the shirt,
Done.
and I will wear it for the next stream.
That would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be great.
If anyone's ever going to do a design for me,
Nope, you don't get one.
all the work I put in and I don't even get a shirt.
We'll get you something nice, Ashton.
Yeah, it'll be a black shirt that says editor across the top. That's it.
I'd like to think that what I put in for Excalibur was a Herculean feat.
It actually was really good.
The script was only 18 pages.
Yes, and
Better yet, the shirt will say "Love the editor."
Somebody has to.
well, he does save me a lot of time, so I can work on other projects. So
Except love will be crossed out, and above it'll say fear.
You'd better.
it's the only reason I look good anymore.
Again, you've never looked good.
I mean, I have more than enough audio to make you say some horrible things. You know I'm good with editing.
I'm sure you could make me sound absolutely terrible.
So, anyone want to hear about Kyle's really radical political beliefs that I'm easily able to provide audio for?
Don't even go there.
So
Trust me, he's got some nasty things to say.
we leave it up to you guys real quick. We do have a number of things prepared to read today. To start off with, we have Harry Potter and the Portrait of What Looked Like a Large Pile of Ash. Or Ashton actually came up with a script for the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh Abridged, rewritten in iambic pentameter.
I had a lot of time one afternoon, and I decided that I had nothing better to do with my life.
Apparently, but it actually comes across very well. So
Good. Yeah.
we can go through that, or we can go through Harry Potter. We leave it up to you guys. What do you want to see first?
You want Shakespearean Harry Potter? I mean Shakespearean Yu-Gi-Oh, or the Harry Potter one?
That's your
Now
next
you
step.
have to write a Shakespearean Harry Potter script.
I was just about to say.
Anhalt agrees. And Wolf Titan Reading wants Harry Potter, but Epic Joyful also wants Yu-Gi-Oh, as does Dayton Pfeiffer. And
Let's see, Samuel
Samuel
wants
Piltz.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Fandom wants Harry
Fandom
Potter.
Warrior
Storm
wants
wants
Harry
Harry Potter. Chief wants Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm losing
Yu-Gi-Oh.
track.
Yeah,
The Nerdy Philosopher wants the God Emperor.
I'll be back.
This is getting surprisingly hard to keep track of.
This is actually really evenly split.
Yes. So it's starting to look like I should just pull out a coin and flip it.
Yeah, just flip a coin.
No, we got a bunch of votes in for Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I think that the majority seem to be... It seems to be a slight majority in favor of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Do you think it is going that way?
Yep.
Okay, let's do Yu-Gi-Oh.
All right. Well, then, our Yu-Gi
Yuko-Cho, I hope I do enjoy it. We'll see when it shows up.
There we go.
Just as long as you don't go with anything Kyle is subscribed.
Oh no, we're absolutely doing that.
No.
Draw him
Should
as
we,
a pony. That'll be fun.
Oh, now we're going with that idea.
Fuck.
I wonder what his
no.
cutie mark would be.
It's gonna be all pink.
Okay.
Speaking of My Little Pony, so my brother used to work for the DLA. Okay.
What's the DLA?
What's the DLA?
Defense Logistics Agency.
Ah, dude.
Hooray.
Nice.
So, when you work for the government, as Kyle should definitely know, you get what's called this lovely little thing called a smart card. It's how you sign into the systems.
I hate those.
So, my brother sat there and got a hold of this My Little Pony of Pinkie Pie, or whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pink one, the one that tends to break the fourth wall, according to Screw Attack.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's he do? He takes a black and a blue Sharpie, colors this thing in camouflage, and then proceeds to crop the mane and the tail and has renamed it War Pony. Anytime he sits there and he finds someone who left their smart card in their system and walked away from it, he would take the smart card, click a picture, and he would sit there and email it to everyone saying War Pony does not appreciate you leaving your card unsupervised.
I do the same thing. I just write up fake emails. Like today,
Push
I
people into ponies.
today I actually had a buddy leave his computer open, so I opened up his email and I wrote, "I quit. I'm going to stay home and snuggle my body pillow senpai."
Every time one of my friends leaves their laptop unattended, I just sort of open it up. If there's no password protection on it, then I just open up a note file and I write, you really should put a password on your laptop because just anybody could walk up and do this. And I leave it open, close the lid, close the laptop, and let them discover it on their own time.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I believe we have
should do something.
a Shakespearean or an anime to bastardize.
Okay, before we do that,
Done.
I need to listen to Yu-Gi-Oh's voice because I don't know how to mimic it. Can I play
All
the?
right, let's see here. I had the redux here for episode 1.
Oh God, Gildarts, that's hysterical.
Hold on.
What happened? What?
Gildart
Come on,
says
let's see what Gildart says.
we all know that Kyle is an animagus. He transforms into an interesting person.
Oh,
Oh, ouch.
that's quite unkind of you. But true.
I love it.
I'll have you know I'm the most interesting supervisor at work.
Your own game.
Sure.
Well, that's what Yu-Gi-Oh's. His voice is so high. What does Kai sound like? What does a girl character sound like? What's her name?
What, Taya?
Hey,
Well, she sounds like this.
in the
This is
act.
literally what she sounds like.
Okay, let me quickly find what. Sorry, I should have done this. I should have done my homework on this. So,
What are we
Oh,
waiting?
that's okay. We'll just fire you. That's
Oh,
fine.
maybe I can even get my grandpa to show us this super rare card.
okay, I think I could do that.
All right.
Mother,
Okay, I'll just wing it with Taya. But okay, let's go.
All right. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Shakespeareanized series by Ashton Gresso, based on a script by Martin Pierce Billany, original manga by Kazumi Takahashi. Prologue. Enter chorus. Welcome all to this our humble play. We hope to please you ere you must retire. Yet ere we start, we are compelled to say that all you see is but fan-based satire. We cast a Studio Gallop show in jest, conceived of by Kazumi Takahashi, and licensed out by 4Kids in the West, to sell a game promoted by Konami. And yet again we parody one more, a spoof already that we spoof again, a YouTube series that we all adore from Martin Billany and other men. And lest 4Kids doth force our play to cease, we beg that you support the true release. Exeunt chorus. End scene. Scene 1. A classroom wherein no lessons are taught, for all involved are busy playing card games. Already present are Yugi and Joey, who are engaged in a game of duel monsters, whilst Tristan and Taya look on. To the farthest edge of the stage sits a lonely Kaiba reading a book.
Joey, art thou yet amongst the stars that thou knowest not when 'tis thy turn?
Nay, 1,000 pardons, my good Yug. In truth, my mind was lost in ponderous thought upon my Brooklyn voice, this turning all my thoughts away from yonder trading cards.
What which I do share, my kinsman Joe. My voice is wild my voice is wild as is the untamed dog, which runs yet free beneath the shining moon, untethered and yet ever bound by howls of purest instinct, burning hot as Hades, down where even angels fear to tread. Perhaps I shall discard these untamed tones, and ere long in a milder voice adopt.
Discard such thoughts, I say to my friend, for I've word of news to share this day. My father's father, as well as my own, since my blood-born father be yet miles away, hath in recent days acquired a card, both powerful and wondrous rare.
'Twill groove.
Exeunt Yugi, Joey, Tristan, and Taya.
A card both powerful and wondrous rare. 'Tis vague enough, I think, to offer up some clue to where I might yet find my prize. The greatest monster card in all the game. The snow-white dragon with sapphire eyes. Some men with wealth as mine may feel inclined to scorn my endless search, and say 'tis naught but folly born of spoiled youth, and ill-delivered wisdom from his wiser peers. But wisdom is the foolish realm of age, a balm to soothe the fools who envy youth. They would seek of prudence and of care, and yet know little of the greater truth. Since I am young and covet wisdom not, I've all the day to find that which I've sought.
Exeunt Kaiba. End scene. Scene 2. The Moto Game Shop. Yugi, Joey, Tristan, and Taya all gather round the counter, and Grandpa readies the rare card in question.
Hello, Grandfather. Look, my friends and I have parted from our games to come at once and see your super special awesome card, the one you say is chocolatey.
Like fudge. Look well, young ones, and please to withhold applause, for here's the Blue Eyes Whitest Dragon card.
Ne'er in my eyes have I espied a beast with so unthreatening a name. Do pardon if I contradict you, Gramps, but none could want this card except a mook.
Enter Kaiba.
I want the Blue Eyes Whitest Dragon now, and I defy all counters to my claim. Now render unto Caesar what is his, and render unto Kaiba what is mine.
I think I shall decline.
A pox on thee! My stratagems and schemes have turned to dust before my eyes, and now I must ablade, enlist, and have you vanish from this world. With wealth as mine, no man will dare object.
Exeunt Kaiba. A woman's touch might soothe that wild boy.
Never have I seen it wanted more.
Exeunt all. End scene. Scene 3. The Moto Game Store at night. Yugi answers the phone.
Good evening, caller, in this darkest night. Know thou just what o'clock it is? Pray let thy business be of urgent fear if sleep itself should be forsaken.
Ho!
Blood by Jesu on the cross is rude.
Tis but a greeting in Shakespearean terms.
All right, I forgot we were doing that.
Your grandpa's fate now rests within your hands, for I did play him in a children's game until he fell in failure to the ground. Now fetch a cheap physician's aid at once, for though I've coin aplenty yet to spare, what I lack now is cause it all to care.
Exeunt Kaiba.
But what man was I spoke with now? Oh well.
Exeunt Yugi. Scene 4. The Moto Game Store, where Grandpa now lies gravely injured. Enter Yugi, Joey, Tristan, and Taya.
Oh there, Grandpa, say, are you unwell?
I know not how, but playing card-based games has caused me grievous injury.
Sorry. That's right. Now watch and weep as I destroy this card.
My grandpa's super special awesome card!
A madman's fancy has overtook his brain, else his plans are not what we expect. For that of all the acts he could perform seems farthest from bounds of common sense. If this be madness, know there's method in it, for now that it is destroyed, but 3 remain, and all reside within my deck alone. Now none alive can duel me with this card.
If that's your cause, then why leave any card at all unripped?
Be still thy tongue and duel.
Fear not, Grandfather, I will not let him win. For your own deck, I'll fight the scoundrel off.
A scoundrel, stay? Would that be you yourself who looks upon a dying man and leaps at once to steal his cards?
I'll deny you speak the truth. I'll not deny you speak the truth.
I see now why your parents left your worthless hide in my poor care.
Come gather, friends, before your fight begins, and let me signify our bond.
Meh? As flattering as the gesture may be, I can't but fear this stuff might not wash off.
Just like our friendship, eh?
The damn spud.
But where'd you get so strong a marker to begin with?
I'm a kleptomaniac. I stole this pen from Bakura at school.
My wallet's gone.
'Twas Kaiba's wicked deed.
Exit Yugi. Enter Yami. The time has come to duel.
But hold a while.
What now, then?
Didst thy balls descend just now? Thy voice hath tainted a timber yet unheard.
Forget my balls descent and draw your cards. Enter monsters. By Ra, 'tis real monsters I espy.
Not so, you dolt. These creatures are not real, but live as paintings made from light itself, which I have cast upon the field of play to yet enrich this card game.
How absurd! Where in all this madness would you say that I'd find method? Who's so rich that they can burn their wealth on frivolous trash like this?
My wealth can burn till Judgment Day and still would not run dry. Now offer up your pasty ass as tribute to my Blue Eyes 3.
Didst thou just summon all these monsters in one turn?
I did.
But that defies the rules!
A pox upon thy rules, for I have wealth. Now summon up thy courage with thy last pathetic card, for victory is mine.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, though one might say Karibo fits the bill. But also there's Exodia close at hand.
But no one else has used that card. 'Tis Hax!
Thinkest thou this card's that rare, Kaiba?
'Tis no such thing. The rules are so insane that none know how to even use this card.
None save I, it seems. Exodia, now attack at once his life point sans delay! Enter Mokuba.
My elder brother tell me now I pray. May I yet cameo in yonder play?
Shut up, Mokuba.
Excellent, Mokuba.
But how? What fairy's trick dost thou employ that you might summon up the dread Exodia?
If thou wouldst know the secrets of my deck, then you'll speak not to me, but to my hand!
Ah!
Exeunt all. End scene. Scene 5. The hospital. Taya sits by Grandpa's side as he lays in the hospital bed. Alas, I fear I've wet myself again. Exeunt all. End scene. Scene 6. Pegasus Mansion. Pegasus sits comfortably in his chair. Enter guard.
I have urgent news, my great Lord Pegasus. The reigning king of games has been undone, and in his place a boy named Yugi stands. Aside from that, your sponge bath now awaits.
What stunning news this is to my 2 ears. I think perhaps I'll take it with some doubt. As eager as I am to prove its truth, I must not seem so eager to the world. No man could beat dear Kaiba's dragon deck unless they had some help from worlds unknown. Could Yugi be the one who holds a match for my enchanted Millennium Eye? My coming tournament shall set the scene, where all these riddles soon shall be undone. For now, though, as my guardsman boldly states, to my delight, a sponge bath now awaits. Exeunt all. End scene. Finn.
Woo!
Bravo.
Oh, that was fun.
That was. I'm so sorry I can't put on voices, guys. I have to apologize for my persistence.
I was actually starting to lose it there for a little bit because my Kaiba voice was destroying my throat.
Yeah, it's a sort of a season for throat stuff to be common.
Unfortunately. It also doesn't help that I have a small ginger baby whining outside my door. 1 second.
No.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Also, for context, too, I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I did watch a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and really liked it a few years ago, but I've forgotten most of it. So, again, I'm sorry if it sounded like what I was reading. I didn't know what any of it meant because I didn't.
Hey, that's fine. We'll just fire you. It's okay.
Okay.
I honestly forgot what voice you wanted me to do for the guard, so I just came up with that one on the spot.
That's fine.
That was pretty good.
No, but that was really well written. That was really impressive.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
Righto.
And in answer to your question, Ian, I'm not sure if Kyle does. I have a PS4, however.
I do. Well, my brother has a PS4. I don't really have open access to it, though.
I have an Xbox One myself. However, I've recently discovered that my laptop is strong enough to actually play modern games on it. So that's cool. That's where most of my gaming is taking place now. I
Nice.
recently started playing that Dragon Ball Fighter Z game, and it's an absolute blast.
Oh, yeah, that one looks so good. I saw it. I only know of it because Conan O'Brien played it, and it looks amazing.
We actually played that a little bit for the gaming channel. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
it looks like it. I've heard nothing but really good reviews about it.
Yeah.
Me, There's 2 games I'm waiting on. One got delayed until November. The other doesn't come out until January.
Oh.
What games are those?
The Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Oh, I'm all over that.
See? And the other game is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh my god, that's not out yet?
It's coming out January 29th.
Really? Okay, how come people are able to upload, playthroughs on YouTube then? Is it only out in Japan? Is that...
No, they're coming out at the exact same time. What they're showing isn't playthroughs. They're showing footage from the demos that have been shown at the various conventions.
Real quick, guys, we do now have super chats enabled.
From Jamcal X.
Yep.
Gave us $5 and he said, "Congratulations on 20K. Also, have you ever thought of doing a review of James Clavell's Shogun and its miniseries adaptation?"
I do have the book. I actually wasn't aware that there was a miniseries. I might look into that.
It's actually really good. It's got Richard Chamberlain. You gotta love that.
Nice.
Yeah. I, for one, would be down for editing that, although it would be a massive undertaking.
Yukochu, I did hear what happened to Telltale. That sucked.
Unfortunately, in the gaming industry, that's also very common. As soon as you're done with the series, then everyone gets canned. It's what happened with the Dead Space series. It's what happened with a number of others. My stepfather
anyone who got bought out by EA.
Screw EA. My stepfather actually used to work for the gaming industry as a graphics artist. He was involved in Monster Games and did things like Dirt to Daytona. One of the launch titles for the Wii. I'm drawing a blank on it. It was a truck racing game though. Excite Truck. That's right. Things like that. So he ended up leaving that job, unfortunately, but. And there was that.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah. In answer, Chief, like I just said, in regards to the Netflix doing a live action of The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender, one can only hope that it's better than the last shit show produced by Shamalama Ding Dong.
Well, I mean, just the simple fact that it's in a more TV-style format means that it's not going to be as bad as that, because they're not condensing so much of it down into 2 hours. However, I can't help but wonder why bother, because Avatar: The Last Airbender is great as it is. You don't really need to change it. You don't need a live-action version. Granted, I don't think that anything will be harmed by having a live-action version. It'll be interesting to compare the two. I just wonder why, is all.
Yeah.
Money.
So honestly, I think we can all agree that as much as they've tanked recently, Nostalgia Critic honestly did probably one of the best reviews I've ever seen of The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
The movie version. That was hysterical.
That was
pretty good.
It was really good.
I especially loved his thoughts in regards to the bending, especially the earth bending.
Yes,
that was beautiful.
One of the gags I still remember. "I'm a little teapot, short and stout."
Yeah.
Avatar? One person able to flip tanks. The Last Airbender takes 6 guys to move one little boulder. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and in response to anybody talking about change the channel, Channel Awesome sucks. We all hate Mike Michaud, and Rob and Doug Walker stood by, let a bunch of bad things happen. It's all been said.
Yeah.
And
We've all gone through it.
just
We've all
keeping their
dealt
head
with
down.
it. We've all heard it
They're
all
just
before.
going. They're just still going. They're still making content. That's all. All that there is to say about it has been said.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Brad, that is just cruel.
What did
That is cruelty.
I told him about.
What did Brad say? I can't. It's hard to keep up.
Brad said
his
that the
friend.
upcoming Netflix adaptation was going to be based on the M. Night Shyamalan film.
Oh God!
That's
what?
and he told his friend with that. That is just cruel. That's wrong on every level.
So wait. I told him about the live action. This is okay.
Well.
Yeah.
That's just
So wait,
mean, Brad.
So wait,
I approve.
why are we talking about this? Is there a sequel coming out? Or
Oh yeah, Netflix is doing their
the
own
Netflix
series adaptation of the Last Airbender series.
Okay,
And
wait.
it's going to be a live action.
Wait, yeah. Is it an when you say adaptation, is it
Yep.
actually remaking the story, or is it just taking
Live
influence
action,
from it?
No, it's an adaptation.
When you
It's based on.
Okay, wait.
If I meant influenced by, I would have said influenced by.
Okay, so it is actually like they're officially buying the rights to the story so they can adapt it. Is it going by the same name?
Probably.
It is. It's actually being made by the original creators of the animated series.
Okay, that might not.
So
be
we're praying that it goes well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, except I'm with Ashton on this. Of what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm reminded of another animated classic that was remade by the same people in charge of the original. Didn't turn out so well. It was called Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was Cartoon Network's lovely idea of, hey, let's take Teen Titans and make Teen Titans Go.
Who cares about that anymore?
Yeah.
That show needs to be burned with a vengeance.
Well, it's kind of like what Lindsay Ellis said in that one essay about how they're just going to keep recycling all their ideas until there's no more old ideas to recycle. Because
Speaking of which, apparently they're bringing back they're remaking the Chucky movies.
I thought they were still doing sequels to those.
Apparently they're going to try to relaunch it.
Yeah, weren't we on what?
It's gonna
Chucky
fail and
83?
another sequel.
Oh,
Just
Thanks for
like
the donation, Tara.
congrats on
Ooh,
20K. I'm always
Tara.
happy to see you when one of your videos shows up in my sub box. Could you please review that thing?
The sci-fi miniseries Childhood
End.
End. I'm
I
actually
guess
not,
they kind of gave up on spaces for that last bit.
not actually familiar with it, but I can add it to my review list.
No, that sounds good.
Sounds like
Good.
fun.
Anyway, the reason why I was interrogating for details was because I thought it might have been the show I was working on recently, actually just last night. I've been PAing on this new Netflix show. It's brand new. It's called Wu Assassins, and a lot of the plot reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I thought it might have been the one and same show, but it's not.
Might it possibly have been a working title?
Wu Assassins? I don't think so, because like I said, when I said could it be a loose adaptation, Wu Assassins is a rated R show, and it takes place in modern day, and there's a lot of swearing and graphic violence and nudity from what I hear.
Okay, probably not.
Like that's like a really loose adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
You can't get much looser.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like it deals with like the four elements, and there's the triads involved and everything. So it looks interesting. It's nice.
The problem with that, Diane, is that there's so many things that go based off the four elements. And then you get Captain Planet where they added the fifth element, heart.
Yeah.
Right, quick. A fellow with an unpronounceable name, AAA1E2R3, mentioned something that took me rather by surprise when I found out it existed. He's asking if we plan on covering the Magic Treehouse anime film.
I have not heard of that, but I'm absolutely going to look into that.
I looked it up as soon as I found out that was a thing. The art style kind of put me off a little bit, and the general critics' consensus and audience consensus didn't seem very positive either. But at the same time, I'm morbidly curious, and that bit of my nostalgia that remembers reading all those books as a kid kind of makes me want to look into it anyway. I just have to ruin everything for myself, don't I?
Oh, I have seen that before.
You have?
I mean, I haven't watched it. I've seen like a trailer or something for it. The
It looks so cute.
it looked ridiculous, but real quick, the Terror of Death has once again been awesome enough to donate, and he says it makes a mockery out of one of Arthur C. Clarke's greatest books. It needs to be destroyed.
Wait, what does? What's the other part?
What was that other one? Childhood End.
Childhood End. Gotcha.
Hold on, I'm gonna make a note of that.
Trouble is with miniseries, you know that we're going to be there for a long time, and if I can't find a decent 5.1 version, then we're not going to have a lot of wiggle room for soundtrack replacement. That's one of the best things about long reviews, soundtrack replacement.
Oh, he has been having so much fun lately in doing that.
Oh, God.
Oh, trust me, we could tell.
So much Hunter x Hunter music in the last episode.
Yes, and by the way, damn you for finally getting me into that series. I'm like at episode 18 now.
I can
happily say I still have yet to watch an episode of it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be saying that happily. You should be saying that with regret and sorrow. Now go watch it.
Because no matter how many times people,
until he watches at least an episode.
No matter how many times people have sat there and tried to tell me, you should watch it, I somehow always manage to find a way to slither out of their plans to trap me. Oh gods, yes, Yukochu, I have seen the Del Toro Quest anime. That thing was bad. Bad. I remember reading the books. Anime? Del Toro Quest.
Del Toro Quest. I don't know much about it.
It's actually based off a series of books.
Well, right quick, I am going to do something nice for everyone that I'll ask you all to keep to yourselves. But suffice it to say, GC, you are going to regret it deeply.
Oh, boy.
What's
there
happening?
We go.
What are you up to now?
There we go. That's more like it.
What are you doing now?
All right, GC, I just sent you something. I want you to open it up. I sent it to the whole group. And don't say what it is. Nobody says what it is. You're all going to keep it to yourselves. But I do want you to say, damn it.
No. You can't make me.
You know, that's what I said, and now I'm 18 episodes in.
True.
The problem is, he can't make me. He has to find me and force me, and some way I will escape.
Who's this GC guy who just showed up? I'm going to ignore him until he watches Hunter x Hunter. So anyway, wow. Kyle, Diane, do either of you guys want to start reading Harry Potter?
Yes, let's do Harry Potter. And for the chat, if you guys check the chat link, I am providing a link to the chapter we will be reading from of Harry Potter and the portrait of what looked like a large pile of ash. Now, if anyone is not familiar with this particular story, a couple of weirdos used a program called Botnik to basically it was an AI program which sort of very badly recreated Harry Potter. It makes no sense. I've seen this animated. It's hilarious. And that's my roommate. It is perfectly absurd. But we will go through this. It is the most crack-fic of the crack-fickiest fanfic I have ever read in my life. So, Ashton, you're usually our go-to when it comes to these things. Do you want to take the first page?
Well, I suppose I could. Chapter 13, The Handsome One.
Oh, does everyone here on the chat have this up?
I mean, it's going to be a while until they can see it.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking
There's
to
a little bit of a
the
delay.
four of us present.
Yeah. There's four of us.
4 of us?
The four of us actually on camera.
There's 4 of us? There's
Correct.
you, there's me,
Three
there's
of us,
Diane.
and the one phantom spirit you can't see.
What are you talking about? Are you
Anyway,
all right, Kyle? You're kind of talking weird.
just read.
All right.
Oh,
Chapter
wait.
oh.
Before you start
Dayton
that.
Pfeiffer. Crimson Rogue, congratulations on your new sub count. I don't mean this in a bad way, but thanks for the nightmare fuel from the Full Metal Alchemist anime with the Chimera scene and its creepy voice.
Yeah, that was rather horrifying.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for the donation.
Ooh, and Yuko Chu wants me to know that if I get some ideas for shirts, maybe Kyle will go for it.
I am open to that.
Oh. You remember that one picture I sent you, Kyle? I sent to the group chat a long time ago. Let's see if I can find it in the shared photos.
You know we never scroll up on those things.
No one ever does. You all suck.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, there it is. I found it. It's going to be a copy of a copy, so deal. And it's sort of a group shot I roughly sketched together.
Oh,
An idea
yeah.
of what we might look like as a D&D campaign.
Yeah, the second breakfast club I think we were going with.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or the dinner guild. We never decided.
I never did.
Yeah. Well, anyhow.
We have
Unless somebody
delayed
else
long enough.
sends a super chat that'll stop us in our tracks, the time has come for Chapter 13, The Handsome One. The castle grounds snarled with a wave of magically magnified wind. The sky outside was a great black ceiling which was full of blood. The only sounds drifting from Hagrid's hut were the disdainful shrieks of his own furniture. Magic. It was something that Harry Potter thought was very good. Leathery sheets of rain lashed at Harry's ghost as he walked across the grounds towards the castle. Ron was standing there and doing a kind of frenzied tap dance. He saw Harry and immediately began to eat Hermione's family. Ron's Ron shirt was just as bad as Ron himself. And, Diane, would you like to voice Hermione?
I'm sorry. Why don't you guys do it, because you guys are better with voices.
Oh, okay.
So that means it'll only be Kyle and Ashton doing it since I apparently don't exist.
Why is nobody talking right now? Just, you both went quiet for a second. That was weird. Anyway.
Wait, is it just you two reading it then?
Well, who else is
Straight
there?
off if you don't want.
No, it's okay. Then I'll read it. I need the link because I haven't been paying attention.
Hold on, bring it again. Diane, check the Facebook.
Thank you.
Wait, this means I can make fun of Ashton all I want.
Okay, thank you.
Is anybody going to say something? It's getting really quiet.
So basically, this is a book written by a robot, right?
Yeah.
AI program, but yes.
Okay. So far, it's pretty good for what it is. I was
Yeah.
expecting like way more nonsensical sentences.
Yeah,
So
I really liked the bit where Harry ate Hermione's family.
yeah,
That was
I
amazing.
know, right? What a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean, it seems like a real natural progression for their characters.
We are way off topic on this.
anyway, we start off with look, right?
Actually, I was going to ask if you could just read Hermione's. I'll do narration. You and Kyle can figure out the dialogue between yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could do Hermione's line just then after Ron's Ron shirt was just as bad as Ron himself.
Okay. If you two can clump happily, I'm going to get aggressive, confess the reasonable Hermione.
Just
What
Stay
about
inside the
Ron
contention.
magic?
offered Ron to Harry. Ron was a loud, slow, and soft bird. Harry did not like to think about birds.
Death Eaters are on top of the castle!
Ron bleated, quivering. Ron was going to be spiders. He just was. He wasn't proud of that, but it was going to be hard to not have spiders all over his body, after all is said and done.
Look, said Hermione, obviously there are loads of Death Eaters in the castle. Let's listen in on their meetings.
The three complete friends zapped onto the landing outside the door to the castle roof. They almost legged it, but witches are not climbing. Ron looked at the doorknob, and then looked at Hermione with a searing pain.
I think it's closed,
he noticed. Locked, said Mr. Staircase, the shabby-robed ghost. They looked at the door, screaming about how closed it was, and asking it to be replaced with a small orb. The password was...
Beef woman!
Hermione cried. Harry, Ron, and Hermione quietly stood behind a circle of Death Eaters who looked bad. I think it's okay if you like me, said one Death Eater.
Thank you very much,
replied the other. The first Death Eater confidently leaned forward to plant a kiss on his cheek.
Oh, well done,
said the second as this first stepped back again. All the other Death Eaters clapped politely. Then they all took a few minutes to go over the plan to get rid of Harry's magic. Harry could tell that Voldemort was standing right behind him. He felt a great overreaction. Harry tore his eyes from his head and threw them into the forest. Voldemort raised his eyebrows at Harry, who could not see anything at the moment.
Voldemort, you're a very bad and mean wizard. Oh, wait,
Harry
no. I want to do my Harry Potter Puppet Pals voice. Voldemort, you're a very bad and mean wizard,
Harry savagely said. Hermione nodded encouragingly. The tall Death Eater was wearing a shirt that said, Hermione has forgotten how to dance. So Hermione dipped his face in mud. Ron threw a wand at Voldemort, and everyone applauded. Ron smiled. Ron reached for his wand slowly.
Ron's the handsome one,
muttered Harry as he reluctantly reached for his. They cast a spell or two, and jets of green light shot out of the Death Eaters' heads. Ron flinched.
Not so handsome now,
thought Harry as he dipped Hermione in hot sauce. The Death Eaters were dead now, and Harry was hungrier than he had ever been.
Wow, that was very suggestive.
Yeah. There's just a little bit left. The great hall was filled with incredible moaning chandeliers and a large librarian who had decorated the sinks with books about masonry. Mountains of mice exploded. Several long pumpkins fell out of McGonagall. Dumbledore's hair scooted next to Hermione as Dumbledore arrived at school. The pig of Hufflepuff pulsed like a large bullfrog. Dumbledore smiled at it and placed his hand on its head. You are Hagrid now. And now, 3, 2, 1. We're the only people who matter. He's never going to get rid of us. Harry, Hermione, and Ron said in chorus. The floor of the castle seemed like a large pile of magic. The Dursleys had never been to the castle, and they were not about to come there in Harry Potter and the portrait of what looked like a large pile of ash. Harry looked around and then fell down the spiral staircase for the rest of the summer.
I'm Harry Potter,
Harry began yelling.
The dark arts better be worried. Oh boy! Oh my god, I love this.
Yeah, that was really funny.
It looks like GC's run off to watch Hunter x Hunter.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah. When
sure
he comes back, we're going to ask him what he thought.
Wait, did he mute himself?
No, I muted him.
Oh, okay, cool.
When Hermione shouted out beef woman, I thought that was really because I was eating a burger.
that is really like the best password.
Yes.
Beef woman. I'm totally using that. Oh my God.
They're not real women unless they're beef women.
Mm-hmm.
To Phantom Warrior, do you guys like Linkara? Speaking for myself, yeah, I'm a fan of Linkara. I'm actually one of his patrons. and he admittedly was something of an inspiration for my own channel.
Yeah. I don't watch Linkara, but you know, I've heard nothing but great things about him. It's just that he focuses a lot on comic books, and that's not really my thing. But he seems like a pretty cool and talented guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've liked him well enough. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Back when I was really into the whole angry reviewer thing as a kid, mostly, I first discovered it, when you first discover the nostalgia critic as a kid and you think, oh boy, this is the best thing in the world. I'll never grow out of this. Uh-oh. And then you check out the other things on Channel Awesome, and then you realize, oh, these guys all got kind of shafted by everybody. Well, anyway, that's just me getting bitter about something I used to like as a kid turning out to be not so awesome after all. That's just sad. Oh well. A lot of my favorite people on that site went on to do their own thing, and they did quite well at it too.
Oh yeah.
And Linkara is still going strong on his own.
Yeah, like that. Like, wasn't he like one of the first people that, like, after Doug, he made it into like a full-time job and everything?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's been doing well for himself. Kyle, like, any close plans for that in the near future?
What, like collabing with Linkara?
No, going full time on your channel.
I would love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, YouTube is not reliable enough for me to really go with that. And I'm unfortunately not making enough money on Patreon to support myself that way. I would starve after a couple of months.
Yeah, fair enough. It's really difficult.
Unless, actually, if every one of my subscribers wants to give just $1, I'll definitely quit my job and do the show full time. Hint, hint.
Ooh, and I get half that.
So you'll have made $68. You think you can make that last?
We have more than 68 subscribers. Screw you.
Sorry, I thought you meant just the people watching right now, not the subscribers. Never mind. Yeah.
That's maybe plans for the distant future. In the meantime, I am working on almost done with one book, and I just started research for a second novel that I want to write. We'll have to see how that all goes. See if I can actually survive on my job much longer, because quite frankly, at this point, if any of my managers are watching, close the window now. My job at this point has just become solving other people's problems all hours of the day and constantly towing the line to see what I can get away with at work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's I mean, it's easy enough. It doesn't really require brain power. It's just frustrating.
Oh yeah. Well, at least you stay dry. If any of you guys went on my Twitter feed, I put up a picture of my pants after one shift on set of a Hallmark movie. And
I remember that.
Yeah, basically my pants were soaked up to like just below my groin because it was raining so hard in the middle of the night. And the team, my locations team, that's what we call the production assistant team, locations. My locations team was down like 2 people, and my booking key, basically the leader of that team, was like freaking out and screaming at people and having like just barely having a breakdown, and I felt really bad for her. So yeah, that was fun.
All right, quick. Barbara Foster didn't send us any message, but she did send us $2.79 Canadian.
Woo!
Ooh, and we just got a $10 super chat from Dayton Pfeiffer, who has also said nothing, but hey, he sent us $10, so you are okay in my book.
Thank you for that. You are awesome.
Oh, that's really nice, guys. Thank you to everyone.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I got a few questions going on here. I've seen the Down the Rabbit Hole video on Spoonie. Frankly, I thought what happened to him was absolutely tragic because the man was at the top of his game for a good long while and it just crashed hard.
He just didn't have the drive to keep going or grow beyond what he had, and then he just let it all sort of slip away and go southward. He didn't have the self-control to behave himself around his coworkers and to keep from saying things that were just downright inappropriate, which contributed to his fall.
Well, there was also the undiagnosed bipolarism.
Yes, that was a tragedy too. All in all, just this guy, things should not have gone as poorly as they did. And also, GC, I don't know if you personally chose to mute yourself, but I don't know how to unmute you. So I don't know if that was me. I don't know how to fix it. I don't. Does he realize that we can't hear him?
GC, you're gonna have to drop out and jump back in.
Yeah, it was only meant to be a joke, man.
You know what's weird? We've done that before. I think that when you mute somebody, it's like permanent.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Oh.
What?
Honestly, I thought it was only muting it for me. Why do I have that much power?
I don't know.
Damn it, Hangout, you fuck! Wait, we're all moderators?
Think so.
Why do we have that much power?
Because I decided to hand it out.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Mitchell, what are you sorry about?
The what?
Oh, Mitchell, in the chat, apologized to me. I don't understand. I don't know what he's apologizing for.
Let's see what the last thing.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, I remember
Mitchell,
seeing that.
what
I'm
are you
so
speaking of?
Okay, I believe he was talking about the your Twitter post regarding getting drenched in the rain.
Oh yeah. It's part of the job, and believe me, that was not the that actually wasn't my worst professional experience. My worst professional experience happened recently on another set. It was a Bollywood set, and it was I really would not recommend working on a Bollywood set. It's really difficult. Unless you speak their language, you have to deal with like some pretty challenging language barriers, and Bollywood filming in North America, it's usually an independent production. So meaning they're not protected by the union. They're under budget, they have a small budget, and they're understaffed. And I was like the only key PA on that one. However, ironically enough, the biggest issue on that Bollywood set was not the people from India. It was a local woman who was the production manager, and she was downright abusive and screaming crazy swear words at everyone constantly, and she would not communicate with us. You would ask her a question, she would bite your head off for you trying to do your job. So that was fun. The working through the rain thing, that's par for the course. I actually don't mind doing that. It's kind of fun because it's challenging and it's physical, and yeah, I don't mind getting dirty, I guess.
Oh,
and yes, I am in Canada. Absolutely. Yes. I thought you knew that.
You pronounce it Canada. We get to call it that from now on.
No, I call it Canada too. Whatever.
No, that's...
Well, anyhow, we have a $5 super chat from the Terror of Death saying, ancient spirits of evil transform this decayed form to Mumra in ever living. I've been watching a lot of Thundercats lately, and I don't know why.
Because it's a good show?
Okay.
That's a good reason.
Can you hear me now?
There you are. Welcome back, dude.
So, you watched Hunter x Hunter while you were gone, right?
I haven't had time, Ashton, and I'm not going to sit there and watch a show
just had
during
time.
a live stream. During a live stream. I'm not going to sit there and be rude and do that. I'm not going to be rude to our fans.
UC is nothing if not loyal to the fan base.
Exactly. Fuck you, Rogue.
I just defended you, sir.
Yes, you did defend me. I'm loyal to the fans, not you.
I'm not making that mistake again.
All right. Well, now you have cause to boot him until he watches Hunter x Hunter.
He's never going to do that. The fans like me too much.
Well, I guess
characters do horrible things.
There's nothing for it. I'm just going to have to look up the lyrics to the OP, and then I will sing that repeatedly until you go away to watch Hunter x Hunter.
So in other words, mute
By the
Ashton.
way,
Got
speaking
it.
of which, JamCalX gave us $2 and asked if we've ever heard of the Blockbuster Buster.
Thank you for the donation. Yes, Erod used to be on Channel Awesome. Never really got into his reviews myself.
A fan.
I mean, he's all right.
I mean, he's not bad. I'm not going to say anything bad about the guy. It's just not my style of comedy is all. I've watched a few of his stuff. Like, yeah, he's pretty consistent with his work. That alone I respect. It's just, I'm not a fan of his work.
All right. Well, I've got the Hunter x Hunter OP lyrics brought up here. So,
Let's
geez,
see.
you better go and watch Hunter x Hunter, or else this is going to be the rest of the stream. Daichi wo fumishimet.
Ooh, I have a fun.
That's taken care
Wait,
of.
who muted him?
Yes.
Oh God,
Wait.
we can't.
Oh my
undo-
God!
Wait.
I undid it myself.
Oh my
Daichi
God.
wo
You unmuted him.
fumishimet.
GC, you have no power now.
Ameteiku tenshi no hoemi de tsuredashi kotoku demo hitori janai sa.
Now I put him on ignore.
Umarete kita koto ni kanaratsu kimi ga aru. Did he just block me altogether?
Yes.
So you guys can
I
see and hear
cheated.
me,
I
right?
know.
Is he saying something right now?
He
Does
said
he-
that he cheated.
He cheated? How did he cheat?
I put him on ignore so I can't hear him.
How does that even work?
You want-
How does that even work?
What you want to ignore?
Well, screw you, Keith. Not that you can hear this.
GC, he says, "Screw you."
Love you too, Ashton.
Also, tell him
if you
that
promise to stop singing, I'll tell you how to
Ooh.
get rid of it.
GC
His beard looks
says that he
silly.
loves your singing and he wants to watch Hunter x
Fuck
Hunter
you.
because of it.
Fuck you.
Okay, I'm glad to see that I've convinced him.
He's also deeply apologetic for putting you on ignore, and that he is a grumpy old son of a bitch.
Right, I'm
Like
going
hell.
to post the link
You're
into
older than me,
the
Rogue.
messenger group chat, and I want you guys to open that up and start singing. Kyle, you know the lyrics.
You
know
know
the
it.
melody.
Yep.
You've seen 18 episodes. You've seen 18 episodes. You've heard the song 18 times.
Yeah.
How do you not know it? Fine. I'm gonna bring up a YouTube link and you're gonna blast it over your speakers. That's what
I
we're
said
gonna do.
yes.
Oh, you said yes?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll sing.
Oh, you put it on the Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, if he leaves, it should. Since I didn't say permanently block him, if he leaves and comes back in, it should sit there and fix it.
Meh.
What?
No. I will.
No.
Oh,
Sing.
hold on. Super chat
Damn it.
from Tyler Preston. Thank you
China
for the
Lawson's
donation.
downfall reinforces the never meet your heroes statement. Give
It's
us
your fault,
$5 for that.
It's your
That was
fault,
nice of them.
Ashton.
I hope
China does.
Keith's not saying anything, or Gail, Keith, GC. He has so many names.
He does.
What is his real
It's
name?
his fault.
Kyle, ask him what his real name is. Which of his many names is the
He's
real
the one
one?
being whiny.
His real name is Keith.
Keith? Okay,
Yes.
I'm sticking with Keith forever. I'm never calling him anything else. Screw
Give me a
GC.
second.
He's Keith. That's all. And now he's
Hold
gone.
Oh. Give him a minute. He'll come limping back.
Yeah. He just couldn't stand hearing you guys talking to me and not to him and not knowing what was going on, I bet. So yeah, everybody in the chat, am I being really, really childish?
As long as it's entertaining.
Oh, well, I guess I could keep singing, but it doesn't make sense if he's not here.
Um,
I'll never
one of the
smile
other ideas we had passed around reading were our own fan fictions. Now, I forget. Ashton, did we ever get to yours before?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
think we did.
No, we did not.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've done mine. We've done Keith's. Unless Diane has any she wants to offer, you're up, buddy.
I
Can't even
would like
find
to
one.
offer up some of my writing. This isn't me tooting my own horn, though. I don't think it's bad enough to laugh at, though. So I don't know if it would be considered funny. But I would love to share my writing with you guys if our audience is inclined.
Well, these two read one of mine about a Naruto Naruhina ship fic that I wrote. So at this point, anything is probably good enough.
Okay.
Well, at least we didn't read Naruto's new catchphrase or Naruto and Hinata's snow day.
No,
So, I'll
that
leave
one's off limits.
I'll leave this to
I'm
the
sure.
audience to decide. Do you guys want to read, like, say, 3 pages of an original screenplay for a short film, or do you want to read a fanfic of Gundam Wing, which is kind of a retelling of The Wizard of Oz?
Gundam Wing, but Wizard. That's bizarre.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, Gundam Wing, or original screenplay, which is kind of
I
funny.
want to see the Gundam Wing Wizard of Oz crossover.
Okay, well, we got their vote. It's up to the chat now.
I'm
Gundam
seeing
Wing.
a lot of Gundam Wing.
The Gundam Wing. It's not going to be funny though, guys. It's actually, I might even say it's even good. So I don't know if it would be funny, but sure, I will. I'll bring that up now. It's exciting.
You
Hold on.
can smile again, Dio Abite. And the Terror of Death just gave us $2 for Gundam.
That is okay. That counts as 2 votes. Well, 3 votes.
No, there's been a lot so far, I think. Hang on.
I think we're going for Gundam.
Okay, great. Let me just how long it is. There's like 2 chapters of it, so we could just go with we could just go with the first chapter. I don't think it's that long. Here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's only like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's only 3 pages long. Okay, awesome. Let me just send it to you guys. If I can find it again.
Oh, Keith's trying to unblock me. That came out.
We really got to stop messing with the settings. Every time we risk the technical stuff breaks.
Yeah.
The first live stream we ever tried to do was delayed by 30 minutes because I had no idea what I was doing.
Well, this is what happens when you give all of us the power of God. We abuse it, and then we use our godly powers to enter into god battles with each other. And then it becomes a battle of the gods, a tournament of the gods, if you will. Like that one movie, I think was an anime. A Naruto movie, probably. I don't know. That was a joke.
Weird.
Somebody laugh. Well, somebody laugh. Screw you both. Pity laughs are the worst.
Sorry. I didn't get the joke. I knew you were referencing something, but it didn't sound familiar.
It's one of the Dragon Ball movies that they made recently.
Oh, the bad bat. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm pressing return on the thing and it won't send. Do you guys know why? On Facebook?
Oh dear.
No.
It
Okay,
seems
now
that Keith can't enter because I'm blocked.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
He blocked me, and so since I'm in the in the thing, we can't be together.
Oh,
He can't come in.
Okay, so basically, I'll share a bit of context about.
Actually, I have an idea. I'm going to hang up and I'm going to come back in my other account, see if that sorts things.
oh, good thinking.
All right. Okay. So while we wait, I'll give some context to the story, guys. Basically, I wrote. This is basically a kind of like a side story to a fanfic that was written by my friend. She actually wrote a fic called "There's No Place Like Home," where she basically retold the story of Wizard of Oz, but used Gundam Wing characters in the places of the characters. And basically, I wrote some short stories that just kind of, yeah, just like some short side stories that I thought were fun and endearing, that I thought might have happened during Relina's time on the farm before she visited Oz and so on and so forth. And this is just the first
I'm back.
chapter. Yeah. Hey.
And
Yeah.
Keith, you should be able to come in now. I'm using an alternate account, which you haven't blocked yet. Don't block me. Otherwise, one or the both of us is going to have a terrible time going forward.
Well, we don't
And I
know.
won't block you.
By the way, Ashton, in appreciation for your joke, hold on. Gildarts Winters says that he is crying at your joke.
Well, somebody had to. It was pretty bad.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, good. Good to have you back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My cutting plan worked.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope I wrote it in a way that you don't need to know Gundam Wing in order to at least appreciate the writing. But yeah. Also, for another piece of information for context, in this retelling of Wizard of Oz, Troa, for those of you who know the character Troa, he's actually Toto.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you guys aren't going to read the fic anyway. Spoiler alert. In the retelling of my friend's story, basically, Toto, he's actually the Prince of Oz, and he was turned into a dog. Or he turned himself into a dog to escape the witch, and that's how he ends up on the farm and meeting Relina, who is Dorothy. And basically, the first chapter is about how they meet. So, and it takes place through the perspective of Troa, who is Toto.
Okay.
Okay, everyone good?
Hurrah. Oh, Terror of Death said something for $10. He is just giving us so much money. Crimson.
You're very generous, Mr. Terror of Death.
Gundam Unicorn is now on Netflix. Also, do you think it was Ashton and GC messing with the settings and causing all the problems? But it was I, Dio.
Really?
Damn you, Dio. No, I actually hadn't heard about that. I don't watch too many things on Netflix, but yeah, it could be fun. Might be worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm more embedded in books these days than I am TV shows and movies, but yeah, could be fun.
So we're doing this now?
Yeah.
I think so.
Keith might be annoyed by this one, I'll have to say, because he hates Relina, and Relina is in this one.
I detest that witch.
You guys get started. I'll be right back.
Okay, Keith, I'll count you out of this one just to save you the grief. But me and Ash will start with this one.
All right.
Okay.
She's an overhyped pain in the ass.
Okay, calm down. I wrote her likable in this one. Just calm down, okay?
We're not going to have waifu wars on this channel.
All right. Anyway, I'll start it. Or no, you know what, Ash, you have such a great voice. Why don't you read it?
All right. Under the Rainbow, Chapter 1, A Grey New World. It had taken the prince a while to be accustomed to the small body he was trapped in. He remembered first coming to and attempting to take the first baby steps as a new member of the canine species, only to topple over like a wooden chair after it was feasted on by an army of termites. Compounded with the fact that he'd never wanted to be transformed into a small dog to begin with, the prince was not amused. His annoyance had been cut short, replaced with the fear and urgency one would have when reminded that the luxury of time was not on his side, especially when pursued by a deranged witch. Repressing the discomfort he had for his quadruped state, he willed every ounce of effort and strength into his mint-condition paws and took off like a bullet. Still, not without the occasional stumble. Thus the reason for the pride that swelled in his chest as he looked down the tall tree he had just effortlessly bounded up. Yes, he'd certainly come a long way in coordination and distance. The satisfaction he gained from his small accomplishment started to fade as he realized how far he really was from his home. He had no idea where he was. He knew he was in a world not of but similar. A world not of but similar to his own. Okay. Not
Sorry.
of but similar to his own. He had encountered a small but busy town an hour ago, where he had found a dirt road stretched between miles upon miles of flat fields. His sensitive nose quickly recognized that he was in farming territory. There had been no water in sight, and the area he was in was so much hotter than what he was used to. His coarse fur only made it all the more unbearable. Breaking off the path, he'd made his way through a jungle of towering wheat until it finally gave way to soft grass. Bittersweetly, he'd wondered if it was as green as the kingdom he'd left behind. That was another thing about his new body. Almost everything was gray to him, with the occasional muted blue and yellow. He leaned against the trunk as he tried to settle the dread that returned every time he stayed somewhere longer than a moment. Perhaps he'd try to nap away his anxiety. Carefully, he lowered his body down, reminding himself to enjoy the shade he had been yearning for all morning, when a noise jostled him out of his rest before it even began. His body tensed into a tight, hunched ball as he tentatively peered over the edge of the branch. A girl, in the prime of her adolescence, stomped by her way towards the tree. The dog narrowed his eyes in suspicion as he peered over the other side to follow the agitated girl as she rounded the trunk. She took her spot against the tree, her posture defeated and dejected. The dog could now only make out the top of her head, a dull shade of yellow. His delicate ears twitched in anticipation, listening for anyone else to come after her. Nothing. His head tilted to the side, considering her. She was not an enemy. And she was alone, just like him. It occurred to him that this was the first time he was alone with someone else since becoming a dog. The prince didn't know what spurred him to do what he did next. Perhaps he had felt sorry for her. Perhaps it was his dog within him taking over his character and better judgment. Or, even less likely, he felt lonely too. Whatever the reason, he propped himself up and did the unthinkable. He barked. Her demeanor instantly changed to one of giddiness. The girl then proceeded to climb the tree with as much gusto as a knight scaling a tower to rescue a princess. He couldn't help but be entertained by the irony of it all. She gathered him into her arms, receiving no objection. She smelt the cotton, soap, and a hint of oatmeal. Her scent offered relief from the pungency of the farmlands around him. She looked at him. He looked at her, and saw his vague reflection in her eyes. Blue eyes that stood out in stark contrast to the rest of her dull coloring, allowing his canine instincts to take over. He relaxed in her arm, and licked her face in greeting. The sound of her giggle filled him with the foreign satisfaction of making another smile. As a human, the prince was not known for making people laugh.
What shall we call you then? She inquired.
The heat, he would later decide, must have definitely deteriorated his common sense when he actually thought he could bark out his name.
No, you have to do better than that.
She shook her head at him, her smile clearly showing him she did not take him seriously. His frustration was quickly replaced by the comfort of her touch behind his ears. He closed his eyes as something like a whine escaped his throat.
You're such a cute little thing. I'm gonna call you Toto. She cooed. Do you think Zex will let me keep you?
They stared at each other, both of them knowing he couldn't answer her question. The sadness he had witnessed had returned as she shied and hugged him close. He didn't even have the heart to berate her on his new ridiculous name, nor did he ponder the implications of her question. Deciding that he much preferred her smiling, he began nuzzling her face again, not stopping until another laugh bubbled out of her. A low, gruff voice suddenly sounded out from beneath them, cutting their moment short. Her body jolted against his while her right foot slipped off the branch from the force. The world tilted, the sky falling further away while the ground raced towards them. The landing knocked out all the air in Toto's stomach, taking him a while to gather his bearings. He was sandwiched between the girl and the owner of the voice, his legs wiggling and demanding escape. She sat up quickly, allowing him to hop out of her arms. Toto surveyed the scene before him. The girl was sitting on the lap of a young man a little older than her, a leg on either side of him. Judging by the breath the boy was holding and the gray blush that blossomed on her cheeks, Toto recognized that their situation was deemed as precarious in this world as it was in his. A stream of apologies flowed from the girl as she slid off of him. The boy, still in a daze, pushed himself into a sitting position and stared at her. The girl seemed to shrink under his gaze.
I hope you're not hurt. No.
Let's see. Does anybody want to be the guy, or am I going to be the guy? I guess I can be the guy. Who's the guy? Are you the guy? All right, guy. Say no.
No.
The boy quickly got a hold of himself, brushed himself off, and got up. He offered his hand to the girl. She took it gingerly and swayed when he pulled her up. The boy's face, which seemed to be in a permanent frown, that's surprisingly apt for that voice. The boy's face, which seemed to be in a permanent frown, tense with concern, and allowed his body as support for the girl. It only served to make the girl sway more.
I'm a little dizzy, she explained.
Embarrassed.
You did just fall out of a tree.
He started to lead her away. Toto watched them leave with something like disappointment weighing down his body, when the girl stopped, releasing himself from the boy's arms.
Toto!
Hope, faint but unmistakable, caused him to spring up on his own paws like a coil being released. Then he hesitated. Was this right? Shouldn't he keep moving? Yet hadn't he traveled far enough by now? Who, including the witch, would think of looking for him in a place like this? Surely he could rest for a little while. Just a while. A soft breeze flew over him, guiding him into the direction of her waiting arms. And that was chapter 1.
Yep.
I like it.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Bad.
Yeah, that was fun to write. Yeah.
I think that you had the audience completely captivated there, Ashton.
Yeah, that was really
that's
good.
delightful.
We got multiple comments on how good your voice is there.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. Now I have to go through and inflate my ego a little bit.
I think it made my writing sound better than it actually was. So I've never heard anybody else read it like that. So that was really great.
Oh, and a few people saying that I should do audiobooks. I do have an audiobook. It's on Audible, The Dark Lady. Look it up. It's quite good. Warning, it does have an explicit sex scene, or one or two of them, but that's not the focus of the book. It's not erotica by any means. It's actually a very enjoyable story, which I actually do recommend. It's just, I do have to warn people about that.
Yeah.
Don't want them taken by surprise.
But that is the selling point, Ashley, the sexy. Go buy it.
Yeah. You can hear me say all the naughty words.
That'll be fun.
Is it a horror? It sounds like a horror title of a horror.
No, it's a historical romance. It's
Gem Calax. Oh, God.
I have to go fillet my ego, apparently. That's delightful. Quick answer to Aquaburst's question. The Dark Lady was written by Dawn Chandler. It's a very enjoyable book. I actually do recommend it.
Okay.
It
Might go check it out
is.
myself.
It's nothing like 50 Shades of Grey. This person actually writes.
Oh, thank
Michael
God.
Quinn gave us $4.99. Couldn't have sprung for that extra penny, you cheapskate. I'm kidding. And he says, congrats on 20K. Thank you for inspiring me to write short stories. Hopefully, I can write a book or two. You're awesome. All caps.
Thank you for
Question
the
is, who's
donation there.
Who's he saying
And
is
like,
awesome?
like I say with everyone who inspires to be a writer, if you do manage to get published, let me know. Send me a link. And I might do a review on it someday.
Also, right quick, Gildarts Winters just said, I don't want to hear Ashton having sex, thank you.
Oh,
I'm
but
not having
Gildarts, you
sex,
know that'd
I'm
be
describing sex. It's a difference. It's a very keen difference.
Come on, Gildarts. You know you want to hear it in his velvety smooth voice.
No.
Well,
That
he's
said, if
complimenting
such
you, so I
things do
think
make
he's-
you uncomfortable, then I'm glad I told you about that ahead of time. I don't want you to be surprised by it or taken unawares.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Should we move on to Q&A?
Oh, right quick, Gildarts does want to hear GC having sex.
Madman!
And I have to say, you don't want to hear me, but him, but... Oh,
That's because I look better.
screw you. Screw you.
I'll screw you.
Anytime, baby.
And Agnes, if you've been writhing for 11 years, I really think you should see a doctor.
Now, let's not be impolite. Oh, Dayton Pfeiffer has given us another $5 and said, Crimson Rogue, did you say that you were writing another book? If so, how's that going?
Yes, actually, I've actually just finalized the idea for it, so I'm going to start really storyboarding shortly and doing more research. I've got the one fantasy novel that's almost done. The first draft is almost done. The next one is going to be sci-fi set on Mars thing, so I'm just doing some research on that. Looking up the actual Martian calendar called the Darien calendar, which is has actually been really interesting.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's apparently Mars has 24 months.
Oh, my.
Yeah, they're all 28 days long, except for 2 of them. They're 27.
That said, why go for something that's is this taking place on a Martian civilization that's separate from our own? Or is this humans who are colonizing Mars or humans who are dealing very directly with Mars? Because if it's a
Humans
Martian
colonizing
civilization...
Mars.
Colonizing Mars? Okay, in that case, the Darien calendar is the best option. I was about to say if it was a Martian civilization, I might have suggested maybe using the Darien calendar as an idea for how you could arrange a year, but creating your own calendar for it, sort of based on how many days in that year. Since it would be developing on their own.
I kind of want to use the Darien calendar just because it'll link up better for things like elections and holidays and things like that, which I don't know how much I'm going to rely on that. Again, haven't storyboarded it yet, but I've got some interesting characters lined up, one of whom is actually based on a couple of people I don't like at work. And that's going to be fun because I found a way that I can use some of their emails almost verbatim.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Trust me, it's going. I'm obviously going to change a few things, names, dates, few factoids, but you get to see how amazingly badly written they are.
Gildarts is being so cruel to me in the chat. Why, Gildarts? What did I do to you?
You were mean to me.
It's they're saying that they'd rather hear GC having sex with Crim's cat, and then they follow it
What
up with
the hell?
they follow
I'm
that
sorry,
up with
but
Ashton.
no.
Nope. What did I do to you, Gildarts? I thought
You
we
were
were
mean to
cool.
me. You
I
were
thought
mean
we
to
were
me.
cool. Well, you didn't watch Hunter x Hunter. It was earned.
I haven't had time.
Make the time.
I get home from work and I fall asleep.
Find 23 minutes somewhere. At least one episode.
Ash, would you ever read 50 Shades of Grey?
No. I'm not
See,
even going to
Gildarts
watch
and
any
me
of the other
barely
movies.
me.
Okay, fun fact behind the scenes. Ashton inserted that little note in the end of the 50 Shades review saying we are never going to do 50 Shades 2. And
Ever.
he actually
Don't forget the
threatened
ever.
to quit if I forced him to edit it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean,
Why?
Kyle, if you want to edit it yourself, go right ahead. Make it yourself. See what
Okay.
that's like. Have fun. I'm not doing that episode. I'm stepping back.
What was
Speaking-
it? What was it about editing that episode that was so horrible?
It was boring. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Painfully boring. It was the worst experience of my life. Just dragging myself through that. It killed the genre of R&B for me. I cannot listen to R&B music without thinking of just this gold digger porn that is 50 Shades of Grey. They don't have sex, but he does take her on expensive dates. Let's go on a helicopter ride while we play R&B music. Let's go on a glider while we play R&B music. Let's ride in
This
my
is the most-
fancy car while we play R&B music. And now let's have sex while we play R&B music, but we're not actually going to show any sexual parts of the body or any actual sex, just us kind of moving around, fade to people moving around. And now it's going to show me gently kind of tickling you with a thing, but we're going to do it look like it's slow motion so it looks more intense than it is. Have a reaction shot. R&B music. So that was the movie. I hope you enjoyed it.
Storm, in answer to your question, what's worse, 50 Shades or Twilight?
50
Uh,
50
well,
Shades.
here's the thing. You have to remember, 50 Shades of
50
Grey
Shades.
started out as a fan fiction of Twilight.
Which makes it worse. It is the shit that Twilight took.
To be specific, Storm Snow, I will say this. I will watch the 50 Shades of Grey movie over the Twilight movie, but I will read the Twilight book over 50 Shades of Grey.
And
I'm
speaking
actually-
of cats,
The Twilight movie.
What?
Not
speaking
good.
Of
It's better.
speaking of cats, my cat is now pissed off from all hell at me and my mother.
Oh dear, what did you do to that poor thing?
She had a matting of fur up near her neck, and it was hurting her. So we had to. So my mom had to hold her while I snipped it out, and she
Lovely.
didn't. And the cat did not want to be held.
Mm.
Oh
So
yes,
now-
I used to have
so
a cat.
now-
Did that a lot.
Yeah. So now Typhoid is livid.
You named your
You know.
Typhoid?
I did not name her. My sister did.
Okay.
Her name is
dear.
Typhoid Mary. We
And
inherited
Jen
the.
Alex, I do offer my sincerest apologies to every black person ever. I'm sorry that R&B was brutalized by 50 Shades of Grey. It really was the greatest victim in this whole thing.
Yeah, it
died.
was.
Film, and I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that.
Mm.
I'm so sorry.
And I'm being called for. Oh.
Anyway,
I shall return eventually.
what other questions have we? Oh, real quick. For the 50 Shades versus Twilight thing, I would argue that Twilight is worse because it led to 50 Shades. So any damage 50 Shades did is directly the result of Twilight.
What's the more shitty, the shit or the shit that shit took?
Mm.
So Twilight took a shit, and that shit was 50 Shades of Grey. In my opinion, that makes 50 Shades of Grey the derivative ripoff, which is worse.
You know what? As much as crappy as Twilight is, at the very least, it is an original creation from Stephanie Meyer. E.L. James practically plagiarized her work.
No. E.L. James did plagiarize the work.
Yep, basically, yeah. She just completely ripped off and plagiarized this other woman's work and you basically rode her coattails up to being like a New York Times bestseller for some, yeah.
I'll say this, though. As someone who has read 2 of the Twilight books and the first 50 Shades book, Twilight is worse because New Moon is, again, the worst book I have ever read. Nothing fucking happens. The whole thing is written like a first draft. 50 Shades, garbage book in multiple ways. The characters are awful and all that stuff. But there is a plot. It is an awful plot, and I hate it, but there was a plot.
In 50 Shades of Grey? Are you sure?
Compared to New Moon? Okay, no. Compared to
Here's
New
the
Moon,
plot
the
of New Moon.
dictionary has a plot.
So, would you say that the movie has more or less or about the same plot as the book?
In regards to New Moon, the movie actually has more plot because more things happen
my.
in it.
Oh,
Yeah, dude,
my.
no. The stuff you're seeing, that's the bare bones elements from the book. The book goes into so much more detail that you do not need to know about.
Oh, the Terror of Death just gave us $10 to stop talking about 50 Shades of Grey. He said, please, God, don't talk about 50 Shades of Grey anymore, please. I'm still having bad flashbacks from when my ex-coworker made me read it when I lost a bet. I still want to stave my eyes out.
I like that you still said the stave.
I couldn't resist.
Okay, Uke02 asked, if you guys were D&D characters, what race and class would you be, and what do you think each of you guys are?
Well, I'm always a bard. or a rogue or thief kind of a character.
Depending upon the build, archer. Probably, and if I want to do magic, ranger. If I want to do just pure shooty fun fighter build.
Yeah. I forgot what I was when I played D&D. I'm not a big fan of D&D. I always kept falling asleep waiting for my turn. I think I was like a mage or something, or a thief. So one of those guys.
Oh, and Tyler Preston gave us $5, but they mentioned something that that Terror of Death gave us $10 not to talk about. So I'm sorry, Tyler, but I cannot read your comment.
No, we need
If
to
you
read
want
his
to give us
comment.
$15, then we can read it.
Unfortunately, it's the social contract. We'll just come up with something. I could write a story that has an incubus as the protagonist, and I assure you that it wouldn't be any more rapey than
Rape porn.
that shall not be named.
Yes. Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, that was fun.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. What fictional character's library would you raid?
The Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, a good one.
Is the obvious choice.
It's
I mean, look at that library.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the biggest library I've ever seen. Like, making me feel a
Not the
little
Beast
inadequate with my library. I mean, my library's okay, but I mean, it's not that big.
Ooh,
You know
actually,
what?
I'm going to amend mine.
Oh, what?
The owl spirit from Avatar.
Oh, now that's one big library.
Yeah, and it's effectively
I'm
the
not even-
Library of Alexandria right there too.
I'm not even sure I could handle a library that big.
Canadian
I would need to hire staff.
yeah.
There's nobody getting the innuendos I'm making.
The problem is, though, Rogue, all of those books in that library, they're probably written in, like, ancient Chinese. You probably won't be able to read it.
Don't even care. I like old
A
books.
thought just occurred to me. Many times in Doctor Who, the Doctor mentions that there is a library in his TARDIS. What kind of library do you think he has? Imagine that.
That'd be good.
Maybe he just, like, I don't know. Maybe just a bunch of dime store romance novels.
Well, it depends on the Doctor, I suppose.
Hold on. Let's see. How did we
said-
discover overly sarcastic productions? I don't actually remember. I think it was just randomly.
I showed it to you during when we were working on the Beowulf episode.
Oh no! I knew about it before that.
Oh,
I
damn.
actually used it before for
I was
for
so excited.
a little bit of research. It must have just been randomly in my recommendation page. But the Dragon Prince. Someone had mentioned that earlier. That's the new show on Netflix. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I like it so far.
Oh, it's already finished? It's already out?
I believe the first season, yeah.
Oh, I'm excited now.
It's
I'm a
good.
very big fan of fantasy of that kind, and there's just not much to offer in that kind of a genre that's really any good. So I am really excited by the prospect.
And one of the main characters is voiced by Sokka.
Ooh,
I knew
he's
about that.
back! Great.
Sokka will rock ya.
Mhm. Well, what was it too? What's the story behind the actor who played Sokka? Because apparently Sokka wasn't even supposed to join them. Was only supposed to be a short-term character, but the voice actor gave his performance had so much charisma. The guys were like, we need to make him a character, and that's why Sokka rocked us all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Titan Gaming, can I voice your orange cat? I really don't have any plans on using them in any future videos. Filming with these two is a challenge, to say the least. The only reason I got the performance that I did out of Leia is because she didn't have Ash around to torment her.
I'm
Ash
suddenly
is
reminded of. I don't. Quick trigger warning if you're at all religiously sensitive. There is an atheist channel called Creationist Cat, which is a parody series, which uses our same theme song, by the way, which is part of why I kind of think we should change it. He actually puts lyrics to it, so I hear that every time I put on the opening.
I
Anyway,
had no idea who that was when I started using that tune.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
someone. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he films his cat for all of the footage, and he does a voice that, that's kind of like this for all of his videos, and he likes to call his subscribers his sodomites. It's kind of fun.
It's funny
I really
because
enjoy it myself.
someone called me a sodomite and accused me of stealing his theme song, and I'm like, who the hell's Creationist Cat?
That might. Oh my god!
That really happened.
Oh, that's delightful. You've met the Creationist Cat. That's delightful.
Well, not the actual one. It was one of his fans, but
oh, damn it.
It would be hilarious if it was actually him.
If it was him, oh, my heart would soar. That said, if it was him, then I would actually start insisting that we just straight up steal his theme song as a that we'd open up, slowly zoom in. It's a black screen. A screen cap of his comment slowly fades in and fills up the screen, while we have some sad music in the background, then a big thud, and then we just straight up plagiarize his opening for a bit, just for fun. That'd be fun.
Ashton, you kind of sound like Brent Spinner doing a Patrick Stewart impression. Well done.
Why, thank you. Logan. That's what I do whenever I want to get into my Patrick Stewart voice. I just say, Logan.
Hey,
Logan. It works remarkably well. Now I've turned into Sean Connery.
Hey,
that didn't go according to plan. Terror of Death gave us $5.
Man of the
Morbius's Library for Neil Gaiman's Sandman series, or better known as The Library of the Dreaming. Every book that has been, could be, or ever will be.
I want that one. That library.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
also, AAA1E2R3 just asked a question about the most controversial subject on the internet, so we're not going to answer it. Moving on.
I will just say yes and leave it at that. Okay, another question. Someone has mentioned, hold on. Titan Gaming has mentioned the Bleach review. I think I might do a quick review for that. What I wanted to do was like just a basic overview of what it did right and what it did wrong. Kind of like Mauler, if you're familiar with his work. Yeah, really just a 30-minute rant video, effectively.
Okay.
That's no fun.
Oh, I have a question.
It's easy to edit.
Oh, wait. Before I ask my question, how did you and Ash meet?
Well, before we
Ash, you
do
wanna
that,
answer
the novelist... Yeah, right, quick. Before we do that, the novelist writer asked me to do an Ian McKellen voice, and I believe I can do that remarkably well, if you don't mind my saying so. So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given you. Also, if you want to hear me do an Ian McKellen impression for a very long period of time, check out the Halloween special, where Crimson and the Storyteller, where I voice the spirit known as Lore. I just float in, I trade stories with him, and then I make off with one of his books.
Why don't you
I'm a
answer
cheeky
the
bastard.
question? Why don't you answer
Oh.
the question of how you guys met in Ian McKellen's voice?
Well,
He just
if you
did.
want me to do that in Ian McKellen's voice, I suppose I could. Well, a long time ago, over a year now, I saw one of Crimson's videos on the John Carter film, which I was rather fond of. And I saw his storyline segment afterwards, and I found myself thinking back to all of these videos I had been watching about how best to edit narrative. And I found myself thinking, well, there's something where I'd like to give that a try. I would like to try and re-edit that. And so I did. I recut it according to many of the new tips and tricks that had been taught to me. And I sent that to him as sort of a resume saying, oh, by the way, I'm a bit of an editor. If you would like, I could start to edit some of your videos. So, no, I will not do Adam Sandler, Storm Snow. You may cease asking. So, I then edited the ending and the opening of, what was it called again? Watership Down. I had a lot of fun with that one. In fact, that still stands as some of my proudest work, although it didn't hurt that I had a beautiful soundtrack to work with, and I was also doing a memorial for two rather remarkable individuals. Richard Adams, who had written the book, who had passed away shortly before the review was written, and John Hurt, who had passed away after the script was completed, but before the actual review was. And so it was my idea to add in a John Hurt memorial, which he did. And so I edited them both together, and I had, I am rather proud of what I did. And it served as a very fine memorial, in my opinion, to John Hurt, who I have always respected and admired as a performer. And it deeply saddens me that we lost him that time. However, I'm still rather fond of what I've done for that video. Also, the music for that film is beautiful. You cannot deny it. Right quick. Tyler Preston has given us $2 and asked who our most overrated author is. His choice was Neil Gaiman, and I disapprove of that, but if I didn't, or if most people didn't, he wouldn't be, in his mind, overrated. So I respect that.
Okay, I think I have a controversial answer to that question too. I would have to say John Green.
John who?
John who?
I missed
You
that.
did Jinx, by the way.
John Green, like the guy who wrote The Fault in Our
John
Stars,
Green.
the book
Yeah.
that's responsible for making a lot of people cry, including myself. I really like his writing. I just find he can be a little formulaic and repetitive sometimes, but that seems
Quite
to be
understandable.
that seems to be a shtick. I mean, every single writer and artist out there is repetitive. That's usually how we know that it's them. It's their style, right? But for him, sometimes I just find like he's beating the same drum over and over again. But again, I really like him. Just sometimes he's a little repetitive. That's all.
I seem to recall, Diane, filming a short segment
I know.
warning you not to make fun of A Fault in Our Stars for a review you were going to do.
I know.
Whatever happened to that?
It fell through. I don't think the script was any good. Good. Yeah.
I'll say.
Dayton
Actually, I was going to say.
Pfeiffer.
What?
Oh, Dayton Pfeiffer threw his hat into the ring and said that J.K. Rowling is overrated. Quote, there I said it. Now,
Yay.
generally, I very much enjoy her prose. However, there are some things that I'm not fond of, like how she tried to get good girl points by saying that Dumbledore was gay, and then, now that we're getting into the that time period where that would be a major part of his character in the prequel films, the Fantastic Beasts series, she has decided to backpedal like mad.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty.
there goes all of her good girl points. In fact, she's even earned some bad girl points from me.
Mhm.
Curse you.
Gildard Winters actually says Terry Goodkind, but nah, he's just an ass. I believe he was actually involved in some controversy when an artist made a title cover art for one of his new books, and he went to Twitter to publicly shame him. That's a dick move, dude. As far as my answer for most overrated author, aside from Nicholas Sparks or many of the other obvious choices, I'm going to say Robert Ludlum, actually, because I tried getting into The Bourne Identity, and I got like 100 pages in, and I'm really not impressed because he goes into way more detail than I think he needs to. As an example, one of the things, a friend asked how I enjoyed the book so far, and I'm like, well, the main character's an asshole, and now I know all about 000 bank account security procedures in Switzerland. And I was bored out of my mind reading that book, frankly. I don't know if I'm going to get around to an actual review of the whole thing. I think it would be an interesting review, but that book is
Yeah.
You know, it's actually quite interesting. You seem to dislike all of my grandmother's favorite authors. Robert Ludlum, Lee Child, she loves them both dearly. She has so many Jack Reacher books on. She has so many Jack Reacher books on her shelf.
Yeah.
Well,
I think everyone agrees with me now because of how this franchise turned out. But Veronica Roth and her Divergent series, like, I called it. I kept saying to everyone, this isn't that good of an idea. Why is it doing so well? And then it fell apart during the movie making process. So I have to say that I totally called that miles away before it happened.
Right quick, Dayton Pfeiffer paid $5 to say something nice about something I said, so I'm going to say it now. Tips my hat to you. Thank you for agreeing with me, Ashton. You pretty much pointed out some things I agree with. He's the fellow who said that J.K. Rowling was overrated.
Yeah.
I suspect that I wound up actually saying exactly why he didn't like her.
Yeah, like a lot of people have had taken issue with her over the last few years. It's a shame. I mean, like, where do you draw the line of just because somebody doesn't agree with everything you have to say? Does that make them a bad person? But then again, she said some pretty discriminatory things. But at the same time,
in that particular,
the artist and the art, it's weird. It's complicated.
In that particular instance, she had set something up that she just didn't have the courage to go through with. She just didn't have the guts to actually portray a homosexual character. She took a mostly asexual character and said he was gay for good girl points. Yeah. And that sucks.
No, that really sucks. Yeah.
It is lazy.
It is lazy, absolutely. And it would have been
lazy, and it's cheap, and it's insulting.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's also why I'm not very keen on the people over there in the Star Wars camp who were talking about how Lando Calrissian was pansexual, and there's literally nothing in the movie to indicate that. Stop it. Just give us a gay character. Why not? Everybody already ships Finn and Poe. Let them kiss.
Moving on. Emma asks, what comics are you reading, if any? I'm actually reading a couple at the moment, kind of off the scenes. There's a set of Deadpool team-up books that I've been enjoying. I'm kind of halfway through the Mice Templar. The one I wanted to show off, though, was called Monstrous. I just started these. I've got the 3 books that are out right now. I'm almost done with the first one. The art in this book is astounding. It's worth reading just for the visuals alone. See if I can actually get a good... Well, I mean, the cover alone gives you an idea of what to expect. This level of detail exists on almost every page. This is incredible. Plus, the writing is good. The universe is interesting. There's this weird... you got the main character here who's trying to get revenge on this group of witches, basically. And there's this monster demon god thing that exists inside of her. I'm still trying to catch up and learn a few things about it, but the society is interesting, the character is interesting, the art is breathtaking. I don't know how well this is coming through, but there we go. Just some of that right there is I cannot get enough of how beautiful this book is.
Yeah, it looks stunning. Yeah,
Look up Ravine.
I haven't
I
read
don't
it.
even know what the story to Ravine is. I just bought it because the artwork is mind-boggling.
That is very
See
pretty.
that cover? That is every panel. Every panel. Every panel.
Wow. I did actually buy, this was a few years ago, but I bought The Wonderful Wizard of Oz graphic novel that was illustrated by Scotty Young, and the artwork is also stunning. I bought 2 copies of these. I sent the other one to my friend who wrote the There's No Place Like Home Gundam Wing fic, because she was, that's what I did. But this was a good one to read too. Beautiful. So. Yeah. Hey, Kyle, I have a question. I guess.
I'll just say this real quick. Shadow Road X says, go read Death Vigil and Sunstone. Sunstone is 50 Shades done right.
What is it called?
Sunstone.
Sunstone.
2 women come together and try out a BDSM relationship, but it's actually like not abusive. It's actually good.
No, that's.
And it's decently written from what I saw.
Oh, okay. I'll try that out. I remember, what's her name? The actress who played Matilda, who's now an adult now. Oh, what's her name? Mara Wilson?
Mara Wilson. Yeah.
Mara Wilson, that's it.
She actually recommended a book too on BDSM, and she also said that this is BDSM done right, and it's well written. And I remember reading the first 2 chapters of it, thinking this is okay, but then like I had to stop when the female character, when the main character, she finds out that she's the daughter, her boss. I was like, yeah, I can't get over that. That's too weird.
So did your internet just die, or was that mine?
What?
No, that was not just you. We lost you for a couple seconds, Ryan.
Oh, there.
We may need you to say that again.
Oh, okay. When did I leave off? Like where? When
what
did
was that?
I
I
don't
don't.
know.
Well, you were describing the book that you considered to be 50 Shades done right. You came back in saying something to the effect of something about her boss, and that just didn't seem right to you.
Okay, yeah. So I was reading the book, and I think I got a few chapters in, thinking this is all right. Like, it's not my thing, but it's okay, and it's keeping me reading. But then I had to stop when the main character, who's, she starts an affair with her boss. He finds out that her boss has a daughter, and the daughter is the same age as her.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I thought, like, ew, that's weird. That's really weird. Ew, I can do it with the BDSM, but the same age as your daughter thing is just weird. That's where I draw the line.
Oh, by the way, Vash Stampede mentioned a movie called The Secretary as 50 Shades done right. And I actually did include clips of that in the 50 Shades review. It's a movie with...
That's the one with the saddle, right?
Yeah.
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 Had Maggie Gyllenhaal and... Oh, why can't I remember his name? He was Ultron in Age of Ultron, and he's also the star of that Blacklist TV show. He's a really good actor.
He is an amazing actor. I watched that movie too.
Paul Bettany.
No, Paul Bettany is Vision.
No, Paul Bettany's Vision, and he's British.
Oh, no. Ultron.
James
You're right.
Spader.
James Spader, thank you, Massage Wise. And Tyler Preston,
Yeah.
who called him James Spatter for some reason. It's okay. I just like to make fun of typos.
Real quick. Oh, 13 Reasons Done Why. That might be good. Hold on. Fandom Warrior has asked this multiple times. What book series is better, Percy Jackson or Harry Potter? And who is your... Oh, hold on. Chat's going too fast. Who is your favorite character from each?
I didn't read all the way through the Percy Jackson series. I started it when I was a kid, but I didn't really get into it as much as I could have. I read through all of Harry Potter because, I mean, I was a kid when that was hot, so of course I did. I mean, I still really enjoy Harry Potter. That's a massive part of my life. And I am looking forward to the Fantastic Beasts movies, even if I don't think that their screenwriter is as nice of a person as I used to think she was. But oh well. Again, though, in terms of Percy Jackson, I'm not familiar enough to be able to say which one is better. I will say, though... you.
No, you go ahead and finish.
No, I didn't have much important to say. That said, though, Terror of Death said that we missed his last super chat.
Did we?
Shoot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's right, actually. Sorry about that, Terror. Crimson, if and when you get a chance, look up an author by the name of Jeremy Robinson. He has a similar writing style to Steve Alton. If anyone does not know, Steve Alton's Meg series is my literary guilty pleasure. It's about a giant shark that should not exist and still does and terrorizes the Pacific and eats lots of people. It's dumb.
And they made a movie.
They did make a movie. The movie is a garbage adaptation. It's a fun movie. They just got... I spent the first 30 minutes of that movie pissed the fuck off because they're doing everything wrong. It's like, no, that is not who Jonas Taylor is. That's not who any of these characters are. DJ is supposed to be Asian. You're not doing anything right. But they actually did do a few things right. So maybe review in the future. To answer Fandom Warrior, though, I will say the Harry Potter series is better. I just finished the Heroes of Olympus like 2 weeks ago. Very fun books. A little formulaic, though. Harry Potter, at least, each book did feel wholly original within its own series. I definitely recommend both, though. Percy Jackson's still a lot of fun. The ending to Heroes of Olympus was a lot of fun to read about. Very satisfying, I think. But Harry Potter, I've got to give full points to, just because it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I'm a fanboy for it.
I am. Yeah, I only really know of Harry Potter. I remember when Jesse Jackson finally had a movie. I was like, I don't know what that is. Again, I'm sure it's a wonderful series. What?
Jesse Jackson?
Percy Jackson, sorry. See, I don't know. That's how obscure he is to me. I'm sure it's a wonderful series. It's just Harry Potter, yeah, so many twists and turns in that one that just completely fly by, and yeah, it's great.
They're all very fun, very well-paced books.
Yes.
They have issues, but you know.
Yeah. So I have a question. I'm going to relate this to. This can go for both books and movies. I find that it's easier for me to ask this question in the context of movies because I don't know how book awards work. Like, I don't know any prestigious book awards other than the Nobel. There's a Nobel Prize for writing, right? And there's also the Pulitzer. Those are the only 2 literary awards I know. But anyway, would you guys rather make a movie or write a book that gets a lot of prestige in terms of awards, but then is promptly forgotten about 2 years later? Or would you rather write something that has embedded itself into pop culture, but there's no awards or accolades that come along with it?
Latter of the two. The first option is a flash in the pan, and then suddenly you're wondering why nobody talks about you anymore. The second option, it takes a while, but after a while, your writing or your creation actually has an impact and becomes your legacy, and you can always lean back on that.
I'm with that 100%. A lot of these awards, or a lot of these books and movies that get these awards these days, they have a lot of momentary attraction, but frankly, they have no staying power. And a lot of the times, they really don't have anything really of substance. It's just, the big thing of the moment. And the reason it's popular is because it's popular. There's really nothing to it.
Yeah.
The same thing with Twilight, for example. There's nothing substantial actually supporting it as a good series, but it's popular because it's popular.
That being said, Twilight, it is in the fabric of pop culture now. People say sparkly vampires, and they know exactly what you're talking about. That's how ubiquitous. So here's another question: Would you rather write a book that gets all the accolades, but again is forgotten, or would you rather write the next Twilight?
Suicide. Preferably by harakiri.
Really?
That is my answer.
I'd write Twilight. Because that'd be so much fun. I would bring so much joy to so many people's lives. It's like the Star Wars prequels. I would never remove those from existence because they bring so much joy to people's lives. Look at the prequel memes. It's the same with Twilight. So many people get so much love and delight and joy from ripping into them, from making fun of them, from just making them a subject of mockery. And you know what? I'm okay with being a clown. Let's laugh at me. I'll write Twilight.
At this point, I can't be picky. If I ended up writing the next Twilight, then I'd be very proud. If
People hate me enough to make terrible movies that are about how much they hate my stuff.
Yeah. That's how you know you made it, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's the mark of success. Oh boy, my life is a lie.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Guild Hearts.
It doesn't have to be a lie.
Also, I'm glad that you love to hate me, Guild Arts. Fuck you, though.
I should read the gender bend Twilight. I don't want to.
No,
it looks bad. Okay, I'm just gonna rant on this real quick. The idea of just recreating the exact same story, but you're switching a few characters around, or you're telling the story entirely the same way, but from a different character's perspective, is so goddamn lazy. If you want to set that off as like some sort of a side project and put it online for free or something, I'd understand that. That's, whatever. That could be a fun little mini project. But to launch it as this entirely separate book is lazy. You're not doing anything different. You're not taking any new chances. You're not really doing anything creative. We already know what happens. It's like, the character B had this going through his mind at the same time this exact plot happened all over again. It's not interesting. It's dumb.
There's this book called Phantom by Susan Kay, which tells about the life story of the Phantom of the Opera leading up to the events of the book. And it's actually really good and really enjoyable and fits really nicely in with the original novel by Gaston Leroux. And then she decides to go on for another 10 or 12 chapters retelling the original book. Why would you do that? It fits so perfectly, and you could just plug it right into the original book. Just stop at a certain point and start reading the original book. It flows perfectly, but instead she decided, I'm just going to rewrite the original book.
Yeah. No, it's dumb. It's kind of like with the fanfic we read of mine. Like, it would be so ridiculous if I just said I'm going to rewrite all 27 chapters of my friend's fic, but through the perspective of Toto. It's like, no, it's kind of meaningless. You might get a few new tidbits on the character, but it's like, why bother? You know, it's better in short increments, and that's it. You know.
Hold on. Fin Wolf, I'm probably mispronouncing that, has multiple times attempted to ask, Disobedience, film, book, will you review it? I know very little about that, actually, but I'm always willing to add stuff to the review list.
I've never heard of Disobedience.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Je parle français. Disobedience.
Oh, Ash, I've been meaning to ask you. So, of course, we're all aware you're amazing with voices, and you yourself have said that you've gotten enough vocal training that you can basically mimic any singer you hear.
Well, it's more sort of a cheating gift that I have. I have a good enough ear that I can mimic a lot of things from a person, and that's where I've gotten a lot of I've sort of trained myself a lot in that regard.
Okay. But can you do that game that they do on Jimmy Fallon where they spin the wheel and it lands on a random person and they have to sing a song in that person's voice? Do you think you could keep up with that game?
No, but you know, I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like what Ariana Grande can do. Like, not only can that girl sing, she can mimic anybody. It's pretty amazing.
And Prashanth Kumaran, I don't know if I have perfect pitch. Maybe I do.
I think he's asking about the movie. Do you own the movie Pitch Perfect?
No. Yeah, I definitely believe that's 100% what he's saying. And no, I haven't even seen it. Any of the three.
I've finally returned.
It's a cute movie.
Oh, how was Hunter x Hunter?
Wasn't watching Hunter x Hunter. I was eating dinner.
Why though?
Why are you eating dinner at 10:40 at night? That's weird, dude.
8 o'clock at night on my time.
Yeah, time zones don't work
free
like
for
that.
me.
Yeah. I once had dinner at midnight, so no judgment here.
Damn it, Kildart! Stop saying mean things about me.
Ashton does do great at sounding like a banshee masturbating as he sings.
What?
Thank you, Gildart.
Oh,
That is an image.
Oh,
Thank you, Gildart. You're my
God.
favorite person.
And no, I kind of thought about doing anime covers in response to the novelist writer who said, "Hey Ash, ever thought of singing anime covers like Leandly? I have no idea who that is. I did think about it, but I've never been able to get my singing to sound good on a microphone, or at least not good enough that I actually enjoy listening to it. So that always gets me. Oh, Terror of Death gave us $10. Question
Thank
for
you.
everyone. If you had a time machine and you could go back to any 3 places in history and change whatever you want without changing your own history, where would you go and what would you change?
Ooh, 3
ooh,
places.
question where if you had a machine, you could go back to any.
Good question. Oh, and by the way, Kyle, the
Yeah.
reason I'm eating at 8 o'clock at night is because you got to remember what my shift is. 4:30 p.m. till 1 in the morning. So I usually eat lunch at about 8:30.
Yeah, I can't judge. Dinner for me is 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Anyway, so Ashton, you go first.
Go back to Eve.
I'd kill Hitler. That's an obvious one.
You're not allowed to
Obviously,
change
everyone would kill Hitler.
whatever.
Until you actually
Without
see
changing my own
Hitler.
history.
Change whatever. Oh, and change whatever you want without changing your own history. Oh, and change whatever you want without changing your own
Okay,
history.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'd go back. I'd get Hitler into art school instead
Yes!
of politics.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
No, that's what my editing teacher said the same thing. He wouldn't go back and kill Hitler, just put him into art school.
Yeah.
It still
Suddenly,
wasn't that
money
bad. He just needed to keep going to different art schools until he got accepted.
Suddenly,
Actually, fun
I'd show
fact on
back
that. In World War I, Hitler was a soldier for Germany, and he nearly died when a bomb exploded and the shrapnel flew about an inch to his right. If you just give him a quick push at that moment.
art school, happy ending for everybody. And then he gets to live out his life as a nice, charming guy who just makes art that everyone loves.
Nah, not art school, not art school. Put him in theater.
Theater, yeah. It
He
sounds like
was a good public speaker.
Yeah.
Put him in theater. That way he not only has the ability to be a public speaker, which, as we know, he was very good at. You put him in the theater because that way he also has an outlet for his emotions that he can sit there and use creatively.
Yeah. So, and what was the question? 3 places?
3 places. Oh dear, I have to think of 2 more.
Yeah.
Without affecting your personal
Without affecting my personal timeline. Next, I would go to that one equestrian show that Christopher Reeve was at and say, hey, maybe don't go for a ride today.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a really good one.
And then I would go to just any point in John Hurt's timeline, slap the cigarette out of his goddamn face, and say, "Look, man, I come from the future. This stuff's gonna kill you. Stop it." And then I go back.
In response to that,
John Hurt died of lung cancer.
Oh, John Hurt died? Oh, that sucks. I didn't know he was.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know. Jeez, how I'm not keeping up.
Well, not 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Gildart, that's a horrible pun. That's a horrible pun.
Similar to that, actually, I think I would go back and I'd do whatever I could to get Michael Crichton to the doctor sooner. Stomach cancer in that case.
Yeah.
That
case, it's your turn, Kyle.
Trying to think of the other 2.
Gonna do anything for Douglas Adams?
Well, if we're going to talk about that, then there are going to be 1,000 authors I could have to leave out, unfortunately.
So we're just gonna save authors and actors and whoever we like.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know someone who I'll save, but we'll get to that after Diane.
Okay, so I got this one. Okay, I'm going to cheat and just use Chat's idea on this one. I'd go back and I'd save the Library of Alexandria. And I think I would go back and... I forget what country it was. I think it was a Roman soldier who killed Archimedes.
Who was Archimedes again? A philosopher?
Really?
Sorry.
Archimedes was an owl who sat on Merlin's shoulder.
Yeah. He's my favorite characters. Something happened.
Archimedes is usually mentioned in the same breath as Aristotle and Plato.
That's what I thought. Okay, I knew he was a philosopher. I just making doubly sure.
Who am I thinking? Maybe I'm just tired. Give me a second.
You're always tired.
I am always tired because I'm always sleep deprived.
I had no idea.
And again, I can't really say much.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which,
Storm, that's awesome.
After this question, I think that we. Oh, God damn it! That is pretty good.
Yeah, but
Storm
then that would
stop
change
the Fire
everything.
Nation from attacking.
But that changed everything, including your timeline. So if you go back and stop that, then that changes your timeline.
Yes.
I'm afraid that no longer works. You are politely dismissed.
But anyway, Kyle, as you were saying.
Yeah, it was Archimedes. So with mention of my sleep deprivation, that is the official time to point out that I've got to be awake for work in 3 hours.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
we've got.
So this will be the
time
final
to-
question. So, Diane,
Yeah,
what
one
would
more
you change? What three
After this, one more
things would
question.
you change?
Okay, I'll be quick. I told Julie Andrews to not go to that surgeon that ruined her voice. I
I would
would.
agree with that one.
This is kind of a recent one. It's kind of topical. Brace yourself. I would try to stop the Vegas shooting, the Las Vegas shooting, and
I think everyone would.
yeah, I would just like call I'd call 911 and say, he's in this room, he has a bunch of fucking guns, can you fucking stop him right now, please? Like, right now. And, you know, they're really paranoid over there in the States. Sorry, no offense. And so they would listen to me.
Hey, I take offense to that as an American.
Terror.
Actually,
My gun says that you're
I'm
an
gonna
American.
amend Diane's answer for an American audience. I would be there in the room with a shotgun, and I would like plug him once in the hip just to take him out, so we could
Yeah.
take him alive and put him in jail.
Yes.
The terror of death. Their answer is they would stop the extinction of horses and camels on the American continent during the last ice age, and they would stop the fall of the Roman Empire.
Mm.
I didn't know we had camels in America.
Like he said, stop the extinction of them during the last ice age.
Very quickly, I would like to amend my answer. I'm going to take back the John Hurt thing because, you know, he was like 90 years old anyway, so he only had a little bit of time left. And I will do something that'll do even more good. I'll go back and save Nikola Tesla so that he could finish that sort of. There was this electric cannon he was building, and he was going to give it out to every single country on Earth, so that they could effectively take out any warship or plane that was coming in and make war impractical. No one could wage war anymore. And then he died just before it was completed and all of his plans were lost.
Can I just say that Nicholas Tesla is one of the most badasses in all of history?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Apparently, he was like a really nice guy. He worked his ass off. He was a genius, but he just kept getting shat on repeatedly. Yeah.
Thomas Edison's a bitch compared to him.
No, Thomas
Yeah,
Edison
he
was
is.
an asshole, blistering, festering asshole.
Thomas Edison was a banker. That's what he was. Anyway.
I don't know what my third one would be. I think it'd be completely selfish and I wouldn't change anything about it. I think I would like go back in time and catch like a concert or a performance from an artist who's died. Like go to the night Michael Jackson performed his moonwalk, like something crazy like that. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
My answer, and people will be shocked that it's me saying this one. I would sit there and stop Princess Diana from dying in that car crash.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That could have been easily preventable too.
Yeah.
Preventable. Yeah.
I blame the
wouldn't-
paparazzi.
Yeah, so do I. I wouldn't stop the Titanic from sinking. However, I would make sure there were more than enough lifeboats on it. Because, again, them saying the Titanic is unsinkable, that's just looking up to the sky and go, give me your best shot.
Yeah.
That's
It's
asking for
kind of
trouble.
asking for it.
Yeah. Well, no, that was even a line in the movie. The Cal, Rose's, douchebag fiance, he literally says the word, God himself cannot sink the ship. And I'm like, okay, pal, whatever you say.
In response, challenge
Dear
accepted.
Screenwriter, you are a subtle person who
Yeah.
writes
Yeah.
subtle screenplays. You
Yeah,
subtle,
right.
subtle man.
It's James Cameron, but hey, again, that movie not only has all the accolades, it's embedded itself into pop culture. It's very rare that you get both worlds. You either have one or
Don't worry.
What?
Yeah, don't worry, Brad. I'll be back to being an asshole soon. Like I said, I would save Diana, make sure the Titanic had plenty of lifeboats, and I would probably make sure Tolkien had enough time to sit there and write out all the books that he still had left in the vault.
Well,
Because there was a lot of material still in his vault.
Ooh, Terror of Death just gave us $5 and said, and if I couldn't do those two, I would go back to the original Woodstock because Jimi Hendrix and weed.
Much respect on that one.
420 blaze it, smoke weed every day.
Yeah, right.
Melt the Book Dragon. Crimson's never going to bed. Lol. I'm drinking a lot of coffee tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, final question for the three of us.
Uh-oh.
Four of us.
Four of us.
I only see three.
Counting Ashton.
So let's make this a donation run. Whoever the next person to donate $10, that is the last question we will answer.
Oh wow!
Well, I don't want to.
I feel a bit bad about
I'm amused by the idea, but I don't want to make it a
I'm joking.
paywall.
You
Okay.
better
I'm joking.
be joking.
Fastest typist.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
So the very next question that I see on here is going to be the question that I answer.
Like I said, Wolf.
Where does Crimson work?
We will not be answering that question for
Yes,
liability.
Okay, next one.
Like,
What
yeah.
series are you going to avoid, and why is it Hunter x Hunter? Lol.
I am not avoiding
Yes, you
Hunter
are.
x Hunter.
Stop
No,
it.
I'm not. I have
Yes, you
plenty
are.
of
Stop
other
it.
things I need to watch first. I have a
No, you
list
have to
of
watch
things I
Hunter
need
x
to watch
Hunter
first.
Dude,
Shut
exactly.
up.
And at the
Shut
top of that
up,
list is
Ashton.
Hunter x Hunter.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. And novelist
No, it's
writer, I wish I could do a Christopher Lee voice. Novelist writer, I wish I could. I can try, but it just sounds like Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian. Let's see. Do you know how the orcs first came to be? They were elves once, tortured and mutilated, a ruined and wretched form of life, and now perfected. My fighting Urukai. Whom do you serve? Saruman!
Sir Ian, Sir Ian, Sir Ian.
Sir Ian. Yes, that's what it sounds like. Just an evil Ian. Oh, gee.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do Justin Roiland. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. I don't know if I can do Justin Roiland.
Okay, I'm choosing Vash's question as the last one for all of us. What would you write if you only had one book to write with now sequel?
What do you
With
mean?
no sequel?
What with no?
I guess.
What would you write if you only had one book to write with now sequel? Well, if I only had one book to write with now sequel, I don't know what now sequel's writing style is like, but I'm sure that if now sequel and I worked together, we could come up with something pretty darn good. Oh, hang on. Terror of Death gave us $5, so that's the actual last question.
No, that wasn't.
I was joking. I was joking.
Yes, but Terror of Death did give us $5.
The right
Okay,
one.
we'll answer Tara's question, then we will
Okay.
answer Vash's since he clarified it.
Yeah.
All right. Will you be reviewing the Berserk Golden Age movies? He means Berserk, of course.
Not opposed to it. Frankly, I think that would be more in Ashton's area of expertise because I'm dumb and I have not finished Berserk, or I've not caught up, rather.
Yeah, he still needs to really just read it. But, you know.
As he has so subtly on numerous occasions on Facebook Messenger told me.
There's one
Okay.
great screen cap. There's one great panel with Father Mosgus, who Kyle knows nothing about. Props to anyone in the chat who knows who Father Mosgus is. And he's slamming a book down on this guy's head, screaming, and somebody replaced the caption with, "Read the manga."
Oh
They
no,
should have.
I've seen that guy.
They should have. Yeah, because I sent it to you.
No, I've seen him in the original manga.
Okay, to keep you two
You didn't get
so we can get Kyle to bed. I'm guessing Vash's question was, what book would you write if you could only write one book?
Oh, that's
My 5-part series book because I would write it all as one big book, and then once it was published, actually break it into 5 different books and cheat the system.
I would write kind of like a dramatized memoir about my life, and then I would turn it into a TV series. So it wouldn't become another book, it would just become a TV series. So I got around to it. I got around that.
Ashton?
Ooh, I'm having trouble thinking of a serious answer, so I'm thinking of just giving a silly one.
He would rewrite 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, and I'd make it gay.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Gay.
50 Shades of Gay.
And they'd both be, no, one of them would be one of them would be a vampire. And he'd be the submissive. And it would be an anime. Wait a minute, that exists. Called Blood Bank. Never mind. Yeah,
I was gonna say, don't we already have that?
Yeah, have fun
Vampire
looking that one up. It's not
It's
actually
called
anime,
Cross
it's manga. Sort of manga.
Good boy points for
Bonus.
Ashton for that.
Oh gods, Brad Wolf's answer. He's got the perfect title for it, Ash.
50 Shades of Hot Pink.
Brad Wolf. Anyway,
Sounds
Yeah,
like
I guess it is Yahweh Clock, isn't it?
50 Shades of Hot Pink. It sounds like the title of Barbie's memoir.
Oh God,
Oh, God.
Barbie and BASM.
And-
Oh,
and-
The
That's already been
Barbie
done, though.
Playroom.
that's already been done if you think about it.
Mhm.
Just look around on the internet.
Probably.
My answer, I would probably fuck.
You probably fuck.
What is it?
I was waiting for you to say that, Ashton. Yeah, seriously. I would probably write something in the same aspect as Terry Goodkind.
Well,
If-
like a sort
if
of
any
truth
of-
series.
Don't know who that is, but sounds good.
We were
He
talking
wrote
about
Sword
him
of Truth.
earlier.
Yeah, the Sword of Truth series. I'd probably write something along those same lines, but I'd have a little bit more fun with it. I'd have a little bit more fun. I'd sit there and probably put it in more of a modern setting than just the fantasy world. Actually have technology in there as well as the magic. It'd be a very, very complicated thing.
Hmm.
But seeing as, again, that was the last question,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night,
for stopping
everybody.
by.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
I think we all
big
learned a
thanks
little
to our
something
super
about
chat,
each other today. I think you all learned a little something about me, but let's move on from that.
You
Well,
guys
yeah.
also got to see me eat a very messy burger. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yep.
Sorry if we didn't get to your question. Hopefully, we'll do another live chat soon. It's a little difficult scheduling 4 people working in 3 different time zones between 2 countries, but
And
these are
with
fun.
4
We
different
do need
work
to do this.
schedules.
Yep.
And 4 vastly
Yep.
different work schedules.
Prime example, like I said, mine's 4:30 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning, and I work Monday through Friday.
My shift starts at 4 in the morning.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. We better let Kyle go. Good night, everyone. Kyle,
Good
congratulations,
night.
and see you guys
Good
later.
night, everyone.
Farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, adieu, adieu.
Good night, everybody.
You and you.